Welcome back to another episode. Lots to talk about, lots to cry about if your name is Nick or if you are me. A little bit less to cry about if you're Elliot. We're gonna get straight into it. I'm gonna need some time to marinate before I get speaking on the absolute atrocity that is Real Madrid. I'm gonna just hand it over to you guys. Go ahead and talk about the positives in the world, the beautiful things of life, clubs that actually know how to play football. Who wants to
Nick,
start
you
us
want to
off?
start us off with United, or should we
Oh, we're
start with
doing
Arsenal?
Arsenal.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean it's not as rosy as it appears, I guess, with the result. I know I assume you're watching the game because we were texting in the chat and you said this was one of the most haram games you've ever seen.
Three quarters,
And
just nonstop.
it was pretty haram, I won't lie. I mean, in the broad sense, I'm just glad that we got the win because right now it feels like that's all, it's the most important thing.
Absolutely.
Um, it was a performance from us that more or less encapsulated like our whole season
Yeah.
in a way. I mean, it's kind of unfair. I kind of don't like the set piece FC tag, just
Yeah.
not only because it's like clearly derogatory,
Yeah.
but I don't care about that. That's just, banter. But I just like
Is it though?
yeah, it's definitely it is. I mean, there's a part of it where it's like if it's like you guys saying it, then yeah, I know where you guys stand. But when I
Yeah.
see it online, it's all over like 433 and Fabrizio posting about it every time, we score a
433
corner.
and Fabricio are a cult. They're all in on
Yeah.
some larger conspiracy thing, I
Yeah.
swear.
For me,
It,
for me, I wrote down Arsenal outclassed Chelsea, and it's not even from a point because I don't think either of you guys played very good football that day. Chelsea looked like they really struggled in the build-up, and I feel like Chelsea didn't play like super closed off either. They were going at you guys, and from my perspective, I mean, it still looked like you were playing that direct way, baiting the corners, and that's where you found your success. But it didn't look like you were trying to play like the Arsenal style of football that you want to see get when you do play these teams that are open.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not even like I'm not even asking for us to like score the like whatever 2011 Wilshere goal against Norwich. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm talking about, right? Or just
Yeah.
Mhm.
or
I
the
mean,
all
I just
those
I
kind
just
of.
want to see 2021 Arsenal ball where it's a high press, you know,
I
choking
don't
them out
honestly.
literally.
I'm not even asking for that anymore. I feel like the standards in my mind of like and being entertained by this team right now is at the floor. And I know it's a little bit like, you're top of the league, like, I'm not complaining too much, but it's like, dude, every game I'm either white knuckling my phone or the whatever the couch or the controller, or I'm just absolutely bored out of my mind.
Mhm.
And it's not just that like, chance creation is low sometimes and like we're not like don't have players like, you know, you're gonna you don't take this the wrong way, but like Mbappe, Vinny, Rodrigo, these guys that are like at their best are shred people,
Yeah.
but like with one-on-one dribbling moves, skills, all that. But I essentially what I said was that this performance encapsulated the whole season, and it hasn't been super entertaining, but it has been at times effective and at times efficient, and I'm okay with it. What I saw that was most disappointing the other day was like I just didn't feel we were doing the basics well.
What
Um,
happens when you do play a Barca and you're going to have to drop the direct play and you're going to have to.
well, that's the thing is like I'm not really worried about the Champions League because teams don't play us the same way, so we can go out and express ourselves. We scored, excuse me, we scored the most goals and conceded the least in the league phase.
Mhm.
I'm not worried about the Champions League. But in the Prem, it's just I'm okay with it being effective, but on Sunday I didn't see us doing the basics well. I mean, it's misplaced passes. Chelsea were bad too. I'm not gonna, but
No,
you know,
yeah, I agree.
I expect more from us, and I think it's fair to. We're top of the league. Like you should be able to play a 10-yard pass into feet under pressure accurately onto the right, either the back foot, front foot, whatever's necessary for the situation. Like these, basics on the ball. We defended pretty well. Chelsea didn't cause us that many problems in open play. Um, so, but it's hard to explain it, I think, because it's really a lot of just the basics. Like I'm not looking for you to, you know, split Pedro Porro on the left like last season with Trossard, where he absolutely broke his ankles and it was like a big moment that got clipped. I'm not asking for these like, run through three guys, nutmeg top corner. Like I'm just can you move the ball quickly, accurately, sensibly forward? Cut out these mistakes. I mean, how many times, against United with the Zubamendi mistake, with an own goal on Sunday by, Nkapie on the corner. Like, can we cut out these these basic things? Defensive header up. Like this is not the time for flick-ons in the six. I'm almost would rather you just leave it. You know, it, I'm kind of scatterbrained right now in my analysis, just because it feels like in every direction, like I'm not seeing the basics consistently done well over a 90-minute period. And it's not giving us the platform to then, you know, showcase that extra upper echelon of skill and like creativity, improvisation in the moment, because they're just not, I don't trust them to connect, you know, 10 passes together that aren't between Rice, Saliba, Gabriel, and Raya.
I think a lot of it is, and we've said this about Arsenal before, they play like they don't want to lose rather than they want to win. And I see exactly what you're talking about in terms of like simple balls through like the channels should be received on the back foot to go forward, and everything just seems negative. Everything seems going backwards just like to keep it, not to like go for the kill. Um, but then I look at them in Champions League, and it's like the whole set piece FC thing just goes out the window because like they killed everyone. Now I know there's like a Kyrat game in there, and I know there's like a whoever in there like a small guy, but they also beat Inter that made the final last year. They beat Bayern, who is the second favorite to win the whole thing. Statistically, by the way, not just by opinion. Like supercomputers have put Arsenal as the favorite and Bayern as the second place. Um, so I don't know what it is really. I think because they have the whole like we fumbled the league last year in their heads, that's where the whole like kind of being or sorry, playing to not lose rather than playing to win comes in. But then they go into Europe, and I don't mean to say this as a diss. Please don't take it as a diss. But it's like there's no expectation on them in Europe yet. Like not as much
Yeah,
as there is in the Prem because they finished second in the Prem I think 3 seasons in a row now. There's an expectation for them like this is the year they're going to win it. In Europe, and no disrespect to them, they're 15 times the team that Real Madrid is. They're 10 times the team that United is, right? And I know that sounds crazy to whoever, but like, I think they're one of the best. I think they are the best team in the world right now. People might say, "Oh, on the eye test, they don't really pass. They don't play the most attractive football." Listen, I'm a freaking Madrid fan. I don't give a shit how the team plays. If you're getting the results and you're top of the table in the Champions League and you're the top of the table in the hardest league in the world, you are the best team in the world. It is literally just a statistic. I don't give a shit how you got there. If I see number one next to your club's name in this league and number one next to your club's name in this league, you're the best team in the world for me. That's just
I
how it
think
goes.
I think also our repertoire of results in Europe this season backs that up because we beat Bayern, that was their first loss of the season.
Yeah.
We beat Inter at Inter.
Yep.
We beat Atletico Madrid at home 4-0.
Yep.
Like,
So you
you
guys have beaten
know,
a team who's won the Champions League 6 times. You've beaten a team who's won the Champions League 3 times, and you've beaten a team that's made it the final twice in the last decade, or just over a
yeah,
Sorry,
decade.
yeah.
sorry to be
Like
the
they've
guy to
gotten results.
spit in the cereal, but all this goes out the window if you don't win, though.
Yeah, no,
It's
That's
got to get
100%
over the
true. No.
line
Yeah, no, but we're talking about today.
yeah,
today.
today. Like, and that's all we can really do. Like, yeah, it's what I've been saying since we've been doing this and before. Like, I said it the other day on our last episode. Like, I'm waiting until the end of the season to make a decision on Arteta, and I think that's
Mhm.
fair
Yeah.
because you've done everything well, and we know like he's proven everything that he can do at an elite level except this last piece, which is
Yeah.
get over the line with major silverware.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I
So
think it's coming.
I think it
I
is.
hope so.
I think one of them is coming, and but yeah, I mean that's you have to prove that though. You have that last piece is important. That's
I just think you've done everything right as far as how Arteta's done with the new director of football bringing in a bunch of players. Like you passed the depth check, and coming up, you have 6 games in 18 days. That's a game every 3.5 days, you know, and your squad's going to get stretched thin. And only two of those 6 games are Premier League games.
I feel like that's favorable though because
It's a
in
lot of
the
football.
yeah, but I mean the FA Cup guys are going to get rested. Depending on how the first leg goes in the Champions League, guys might get rested in the second leg of that. Like we have FA Cup and I mean, we're going to play a strong team for the final for the League
Mhm.
Cup, but I mean, I still think we have enough quality to get through it. Like I'm fine with Madueke starting a few games here and there. Like if he starts tomorrow against Brighton, I'm not too worried, honestly. And that's more just because Saka hasn't been great. So like I kind of feel like I don't need Saka on the pitch to win a game.
The 6 game gauntlet ends with City, but I had a question. Is your first game against Leverkusen, is that at home?
No.
No, it's away. Okay, so
Yeah, we
even
have
better, even better. If you get a
yeah.
sizable lead away, I think I see rotations in your second leg.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, we finished top of the league phase, so we have every game until the final first leg away, second leg at home.
Hmm.
So that's a nice extra little, benefit there. But um a little bit on the Prem and the Champions League kind of disparity, like mentality wise, like you were talking about, Ali. I think a big part of it is City as well.
Yeah.
I think because it's not like the Champions League doesn't feel like we're being chased by City. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I'll tell you what, more than anything, in terms of what I was thinking going into the draw for the Champions League knockouts, the main reason that I actually just clocked this earlier today, the main reason I didn't want to be on the left side was because I didn't want to go up against City.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's just because they're the team most in the world that I feel like has a mental edge over us.
Oh yeah.
Still to
Absolutely.
this day. Like, and I know that we beat them, we smoked them last year 5-1 at
Yeah.
home. And that was a nice little like bit of payback and
Yeah.
confidence boost.
Yeah.
But, they torched us for years.
Yeah.
Years we were holding threes, fours, fives, home and away, like in title races, 3-1, 22-23 at their place. And, we've edged out a couple like 1-0s, 2-1s here and there, some draws. We haven't lost to them in a while, but it's not convincing where it's like it is with Chelsea. Like
Yeah.
even we don't need to play bad to beat you kind of thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I think that's a huge mental thing I think if it was Liverpool in the same position, sorry, same position right now as City, even having won the league last year, I would be less worried.
Oh yeah. I think that's. I mean, they just lost to Wolves today. Like.
No, but I'm saying if Liverpool were 2 points behind us right now, or five with a game in hand,
Yeah.
chasing us instead of City, I would be less worried, even though they won the league last year. Like,
Yeah. I mean, yeah. They also don't have the history of overcoming like a massive gap to eventually win it. Like
yeah,
when they won
and
it
it's
last time, they were in the lead the whole season. And the time before that, during COVID, they were also, I believe, in first like the almost the entire season. Like they didn't have to like what City's done, and I think what gives them that mental edge over you is they've overcome a point gap twice, I think, 2 or 3 times. which is just like it goes to show how good that City team actually is. Like people
Yeah,
like want
and
to hate, but I'm like, guys, this is one of the best teams in history.
I think one of the biggest pieces to that like rhetoric around City is their record in the second half of seasons or the latter stages of seasons. Dude, they just I mean,
They suck.
they I mean, how many times have they won 10 of the last 10, 12 of the last 12, like
Yeah.
15 of the last 16?
They always look like this every year. It's they start the season off great too, usually. Then there's like a month and a half stretch where it's just like that, and then the last of the season is just bam. It's
Yeah,
always like that.
and they're doing it again right now a little
They're at
bit. I
five in a
mean,
row.
yeah, I mean they're it hasn't been super convincing results like it usually is.
Yeah.
But you still kind of feel that like little air of inevitability with them.
Yeah.
And you know, honestly, I struggle to even say like I think it's a I think it's a coin flip for the league right now. Based on what I'm seeing from my team, like they're not instilling me with a ton of confidence that they're going to find this gear that we've been waiting for,
Yeah.
or that they're gonna, miraculously, like anybody's gonna miraculously take the lead up front. And I mean, maybe Gyökeres, but he keeps doing this where like he builds up to some form. He has a good game or a good patch of games where he gets, he'll get a brace or he'll get a
I
golden
just think you have
assist,
the
and
quality
then
to
he
ghost like that.
and he but then and then he falls off. Saka has not really had any peaks at all this season.
Yeah.
Trossard had a good start, and so did Martinelli. But he's only got one goal in the Prem this year. The rest of his GA mostly is in cup competitions. He's
Yeah.
mostly in the Champions League. So like we have like probably 4 or 5 guys who have between 4 and like 6 goals,
Yeah.
which is good, I guess. But Gyökeres is 10 in the Prem. That's the upper edge of things, and
Does he have 10
it's
in just the Prem?
yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay.
I think he's like 14 or maybe 15 all comps, but
Yeah. Okay.
um
I think he hits 20 in all comps for sure.
yeah, but that's the thing is like I just, I like it's hard for me to say every game that like okay, like Gyökeres is gonna
Yeah, no.
I think he's gonna step up this game, or it's always a hope. It's always like please, like,
I
every time
think
he
if
gets
you
the
guys
ball.
have that massive uptick in form, it requires two players to really push it up a notch, and it's Odegaard and Saka. I feel like I
Yeah.
haven't seen enough from either of them all season long. I've seen Madueke. I know you have your thoughts on Madueke. Every time I've watched him for you guys, I, I felt like he's done pretty solid. Like at least a 7 out of 10 game. Keep in mind, I haven't watched every single game.
He brings a lot of energy.
He brings energy, and I almost feel this might be controversial. I don't think it is. He's better one on one than Saka.
He is.
You just like that's what you guys need more of because if you're ever gonna get those cutbacks or that service to the back post,
I
I don't.
disagree. I think Saka's better at
You think
that.
so?
That's his bread and butter.
No, his yeah, they almost have like the reverse skill set. Like
Yeah,
Madueke's first phase in attack is almost maybe one of the best in the league, actually, in terms of just like, jinking back and forth, getting
yeah,
past the guy, touch and go, or like a little 1-2. He's super quick, he's rapid.
yeah,
But his final touch, his final decision is
yeah,
so lacking.
yeah,
And like he's had a couple, like who was it? I think he scored against Bruges maybe in the league phase. He hit a banger. Like he just
yeah,
bodied the guy off him, middle of the pitch, like
yeah.
35 yards out, smashes it. And that's one of those ones where it's like he might not never do that again in his life. But at least he showed like that I'm just gonna try to. But Saka can't do that because he doesn't have that explosive burst to get like 2 yards away from the guy and get a
Yeah,
clean shot off. He's quick, but he's not that explosive.
yeah.
And
That would be the next evolution of Nani is being able to beat the guy and put
With
it
the
in the back
final
of the net.
final touch, final
yeah,
service.
if he did that better, he would be starting over Saka right now.
Yeah,
I don't doubt it at all, even though he's the main guy. Like, and I we don't have to get into it too much right now, but he just got a big contract deal extension and a big pay raise, and he's now our highest paid player. And I'm telling you
Oh,
what, dude,
Saka. Oh, for a
yeah,
second
yeah,
I thought you were
Saka.
talking about
No,
Madueke. I was like,
no,
huh?
Saka, yeah.
Okay.
Um, but I'm like, I mean, it's probably because of where he's taken us and where what he's done. But
Yeah.
this season, he's had a lot of injuries this last season too, but it's really I struggle to think of a lot of big moments from him.
Yeah.
And I honestly like I can't think. I know he has scored a few goals, but I can't think of any of them just because like they're not memorable or they're so few and far between that I don't even know. Like I can think of the Zubamendi volley against Forest outside the
Yeah.
box, or as a hat trick, or the Crystal Palace goal even. A few of Gyökeres's goals have been like pertinent in my mind, but like. Yeah, he's been really just like sometimes I forget he's on the pitch, man, honestly.
Yeah. I
Um,
absolutely feel that. I'm not an Arsenal fan, but I've really been underwhelmed by their performances. Like I'm everyone knows I'm a huge Odegaard fan because of like I credit where credit's due. I knew Odegaard was gonna be him. He hasn't been him for like the season and a half, but I knew that he was a baller because I used to watch this YouTube channel that would show like young players that were on the come up, and I saw him on it. I'm like, yo, Real Madrid's gonna sign this guy. They did, and he didn't want to wait for Cruz and Modric to retire. Modric still hasn't retired, which is crazy to think about. And in those first 2 seasons at Arsenal, he absolutely cooked. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on, but if we can get that form of Odegaard again, and I think a lot of it is because they're using him in the build-up, which I just think is so silly. But
yeah.
whatever, I'm not coaching. There's a reason Arteta's the coach, and I'm just some dude in Michigan. If they can just get him closer to the goal, and we can get more GAs, I don't know why I'm saying we. If Arsenal can get more goals and assists out of Odegaard, more goals and assists out of Saka, um, I'm still tossed up about who starts between Trossard and Martinelli because like they're such different profiles.
Yeah.
I'm just like sometimes I feel like Martinelli's more useful, but I've also seen that when he comes in off the bench, he's better. So
Yeah, they're both like
I think it just
kind of
depends who you pair them with
maybe yeah,
because you
yeah.
need that
partially,
breakout
yeah.
player. So for me, it's always going to be Saka with Martinelli and then Trossard with Nani because you just need at least one pace merchant on each side.
I also think Arsenal needs not just bear with me here because I don't get to watch them all the time. They need more people in the box than just the center forward. It feels as though when a winger does break a line and is looking to get a cross in, it feels like there's only two guys in the box sometimes, which comes back to the whole like we don't want to commit too many bodies forward because we're not playing to win, we're playing to not lose. I think that's part of it. But also it's like if you're putting a Havertz under a Gyökeres or a Mikel Merino in like a 10 roll, right? And they're just able to get these deep late runs into the fucking box. And then it's not just Gyökeres just wrestling in the box with two center backs. Like there's almost more of a chance of them, just getting goals from open play. And I'm not hating on the set
Yeah.
piece things. Like I'm all
No,
for the
I
set
like
piece
that. I
things,
agree.
right? Like if you put a Havertz or if you put a Declan Rice in a more advanced 8 roll crashing into, like think of what Bellingham did when Real Madrid knew how to play soccer,
Yeah.
right? People were saying he's a 9. I'm like, no, he's not a 9. He's picking up the ball in the middle of the field, carrying it 30 yards, pinging out wide to Carvajal or Rodrigo or Vinny, and then getting to the back post and scoring a header, right? Like he was able to do both.
Yeah.
I'm like, Havertz could do that. Like maybe he can't dribble as well as Bellingham can, but he could definitely bop the ball around left and right, get in the box with Gyökeres. Mikel Merino,
Yeah.
we saw last season, could do that.
This
Um,
season too. I love Mikel Marino.
yeah, so it's just like, and then
I
behind him, you got like the orchestrators, like you got a Zubamendi. Since Odegaard loves to hold hands with both center backs, he can be deeper. Like, and you just let the big fucks be big fucks. Just put them by the goal.
yeah, I think there's two things. Well, okay. My, I want to see Havertz at the nine a bit more for the rest of the season, just because I don't like. I kind of am torn with the whole like, do we or do we not need a nine narrative? Which, mostly coming into this season and last season, it was like, if we had a Gyökeres, if we had a Sesko, if we had a, you know, Lautaro Martinez or whatever, somebody like that, like who could just get on the end of these chances, they'd score 30 goals, easy. It's like I kind of almost don't know, like, I mean, 2 seasons ago, we scored the most goals we've ever scored in club history,
Yeah.
more than the Invincibles, more than any title winning season, like, so, and we had Jesus and Havertz, mostly Havertz.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of more like, if we're talking about what do we know, like, not changing things too much. We're in the business end of the season, you don't want to just rip it up and start from scratch.
Yeah.
You could say the same thing about Liverpool last season because they were playing Jota and Luis Diaz up top at the nine, and they're not traditional
Yeah, I mean,
strikers.
even a few. I mean, honestly, the last aside from Holland, since Holland's been in the league, every winner outside of that has had a false nine. You think about Firmino for Liverpool before, like the last couple of years, um, and then City. I mean, between Aguero and Holland, it was Phil Foden in there, like
This is in the Prem,
Jesus.
though. I mean, you can look at Barcelona with Lewandowski. You can look at Real Madrid when they had Benzema. You can look at Bayern Munich now with Harry Kane. It's like
Yeah.
there's two sides of the coin, and I know why you're like it's hard. It's hard. I'm also torn between it. I think it's
But
good to
it's
have both
like,
profiles.
yeah, yeah, and honestly, I'd rather just have them both. But I'm saying clearly, Gyökeres has not proved to be like a clear-cut solution, like obvious working solution, right? It's clearly not as simple as just put the guy who scored 98 goals in 2 seasons leading the line for us and he'll do it again. Like it's clear it's not that simple. So I'm just saying what I know I'm going to get from Havertz is he's going to bring guys into play. He's going to hold the ball up. He can do things that Gyökeres can't or doesn't do, as in better on the ball, more fluid, more natural playmaker. Like if he's not going to score himself, he can still make something happen from somebody else, which I feel like Gyökeres doesn't have that ability. Like if he's not going to score, he's not going to, knit a play together or a move together to get somebody else in. So if we're struggling from open play right now, I kind of almost want to go back to a more familiar setup with Havertz and then maybe bring Gyökeres in if that's not working to say, okay, well, here's our battering ram then. We're just gonna play this guy in long and see what happens against tired center backs for the last 30, you know, type of thing. Um, Not that I don't want to see Gyökeres and not that I think it's entirely his fault, but like I think we need another option, and he's coming back into fitness, so I'm kind of hoping we see him tomorrow, but we'll see.
What kind
Um,
of profile would you bring in?
for another nine,
Yeah, would you
that's
go
the
for a
thing.
younger guy?
I don't, probably that's the thing is like it's I feel like the market's pretty dry right now. Like there's not,
As far as youth strikers, I think there's some good options, especially because I
but
saw Inter made a statement saying they wouldn't release their kid to you guys
but
with
I'm saying in terms
Esposito.
of, but I'm just saying in terms of like the market the for a top established striker is like there's not none of them are really available, you
There's
know.
prospects. I wouldn't say there's a top rated striker who's 19 ready to go.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying like it's almost like not worth looking into in a way. Not entirely, but I'm just saying for us right now where we are, where we're going to be next season, hopefully trying to retain this title. I'm not looking at a prospect striker to come in and change things or make that difference. You know, I'm looking for, is there another way we can fit Gyökeres into the system? Can Havertz maybe change his game a little bit to be more like Gyökeres, but with this more well-rounded skill set? You know, maybe more of a like, if we let Jesus go this summer, can we bring in maybe somebody who's not a traditional nine, but like a Leao almost can come in and do some work there, kind of, in sort of a makeshift role. I don't know. Um, I kind of almost feel like the role needs some redefining in our team in terms of clearly the false nine like takes a very particular type of player. Like Jesus at his best is that player. I think he's like the perfect false nine with maybe a little bit better finishing. Um, but
Well, if you wanted the cross finishing corner merchant, Sesko's been looking pretty good in that department.
no, no, I'm just saying like it's tough to even say. Like I think I'm kind of almost looking for like maybe Marino is just that long-term answer. I don't know. Um,
I like him a lot.
I yeah,
I think his
I've liked
working,
him.
his finishing is great, his passing is superior.
Yeah, he's like it's weird. I kind of wish I could take pieces of Marino, Havertz, and Gyökeres and mash them into one guy, and he'd just be like elite. Um,
Superman.
but yeah, so I don't know. We don't have to go on too long about Arsenal. We've been going on for a while, but I guess my just closing thought is like honestly that I'm glad we got the win, but the performance kind of concerns me more than
Hmm.
the win inspires me. So I don't
Are
know. I think
City in
to
the hot seat now? Now that because you play first, you play before City, and when you get these wins ahead of them, the pressure's on them. And I think
Yeah, I think it's I think in the short term the pressure is on us, obviously like day to day, because if we don't win our game, we're obviously
I just
dropping
think
points in the
it
but
sets you up well for your next game, like knowing that that pressure is on City. You've already got it over the line, and say City
the
do get a draw, and then you're like, let's go
but
bigger the
that's the
next
key.
day.
The pressure is on City if we put the pressure on them.
Hmm.
Like we, right now, like if we keep winning our games, set the Etihad game aside, they still have to we have points on the board in terms of the game in hand. Right? So like with the 5 points, that's what I'm saying is like the pressure's on them in the sense of when they have to make up that game for I think it's week 31 or something. That's the pressure moment for them, I think. And that's because, if you draw, then it's four or it's four unequal games, or if you lose, it's five unequal games. I think right now, though, the pressure is 100% on us, honestly, regardless of if we're playing first or second, because we are going to like what my point is we've seen that City have given us those chances to make this a 7, 8, 9, 11 point lead, and we haven't taken it. The difference is if we I feel that if we drop points or if we don't keep up the standard of at least maintaining the lead where it is, we're not only taking away from our own confidence, but we're giving City confidence. Whereas when City drop points, it doesn't seem to give us confidence. I can think of 2 or 3 games this season where they've dropped points before us, and we also dropped points that week.
That's literally Real Madrid every single time Barca drops points for the last 15 years.
It's like you're not, when we drop points, City close the gap. When
Yeah.
City drop points, we tie. That's, you know what I mean? So because of that, it's a mental thing. Like because of that, I think the pressure is mostly on us right now. Um, so yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, on the game, not super impressed. Glad we got the win, but it's more about tomorrow. It's just about the next game.
For sure. Well, you guys want to transition into United?
Yeah, we can do that. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Get it
All right,
going.
guys. United move into third place. We're coming up in the world, is what I'd like to say. The table looks good. We're 6 points ahead of Chelsea. We're honestly, we could be 6 points ahead of Liverpool now with them dropping the Wolves.
Who's your next game?
And it's tomorrow against Newcastle. And Newcastle are pretty battered right now. It's not the strongest Newcastle sign we've seen in years, but they do have quality. And I, you know, I question the legitimacy of our wins. Like Elliot said, there's been circumstantial reasons for a lot of our success in this past few weeks. And it really has me worried because the only time I've seen us play decent football has been against Arsenal and City. Every other game has been more or less questionable. I mean, our win against Palace, like the red card they got, sure. I don't think it was a foul, honestly. You know, it's
I
not
I
like,
think I think that I think two things are true with United right now. And when I said that about like maybe just take it easy with like, the change in form and the state around the club, like I don't blame you for being happy that you guys are picking up form at all. It was more just pointing out a few things and some long-term implications that it's like, and I was just pissed that like I had to take a little bit of a little bit of
yeah.
banter. Um, but no, I mean, I think between you, Chelsea, just the teams in the Champions League race right now, I think they all kind of show the same pattern of being able to step up for the big games, but then losing focus on sort of the games you feel like you should be winning,
Mhm.
or, just lower opposition basically. And I think that that's a main, like, that's a something that you don't see from City and you don't see from Arsenal as much, where it's like, I mean, obviously we've dropped points to Wolves and
Mhm.
Forest. It's been a crazy season, but generally this season we have, for the most part, not lost to our rivals and our title, competitors, and we have picked up points. I mean, I think we've lost our only loss at home this season is against you guys. Um, Whereas with with Chelsea, with United, we see like, you come to the Emirates, you get a win. You go, you beat
Mhm.
City at Old Trafford. You beat Chelsea, you beat Spurs, you beat Liverpool. I think you beat every Big Six team this season.
Yeah. Which
But
I'm more than happy with. But
yeah, but it's the losses, it's the draws
we're
to
we're we're in two different
West Ham.
races. If we get those wins against those smaller teams, we're in a title race right there with you. But that's not the case. We're not. We don't have that depth. We don't have that consistency. We don't have a style of play. It's
Yeah.
that's what having all those check marks is what puts you up there with Arsenal and City. Um, but we're in two different races. Like Arsenal and City have the title race. Ours is for Champions League, and I'm competing with Villa, Liverpool, and Chelsea. And Chelsea and Liverpool are blowing it. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
even worried about playing Liverpool at Old Trafford now, knowing that they just dropped to Wolves. Like that's moot now.
Well, that's the thing, man, because it was right before we played Liverpool, I think in January or February. Um, they
I'm
dropped
saying we
points.
could drop that game and it doesn't mean anything because Poole lost to Wolves.
Yeah, I see. Okay, I could see that. I just think I wouldn't walk into that game thinking they're not going to give you a performance.
Mhm.
That's
No, I know
exactly,
for a fact. I know
yeah.
it'll be a game.
That
It's always a game.
that's exactly my point is that I'm trying to make is that those games are always going to be competitive
But I've
and
already played
mostly
Wolves
close.
twice, and we got points. So that's Liverpool's
Yeah,
deficit.
yeah. I mean, those other two clubs are in a very weird space right now. I think it also shows I would assume that the amount that you guys are able to actually train right now because you have one game a week.
We get a lot of rest, but we don't look sharp. We're still going into these games, and I maybe it's something Carrick's done because Amram was very intense with his sessions. Like they went basically he was like his whole drive was to get their fitness way up, and you saw that we had a ton of energy. And now I'm starting to see these guys get complacent again. The energy's not there. They're not starting games well. Palace scored in the first 3 minutes. Like we looked slow. And then, that's like the United I've been used to for the past 3 years, like these slow starting, recovering from
Yeah,
these games. And I
I
almost
kind of
missed that from Amarim because I like
I,
starting games well.
I kind of question a little bit the leadership and the mentality of some of these players. Um,
Absolutely.
because and I'm kind of singling out Bruno here
I
just a
mean,
little
they can
bit.
turn it on and off, but Bruno's been great
But
this
that's
season.
well, no, yeah, but in terms of being a leader though, and the kind of leader that he seems to be to me, I don't love his I don't like his mannerism on the field. Like that's my main gripe with the guy is that I just don't like the way he acts and like holds himself as
Yeah, that's
the
fair. I mean,
captain of
he can lose it.
United.
I don't think
But
that affects his leadership with the team. Like I think their interpersonal relationships are really strong as far as how
well,
he's the best captain we have. But
okay,
I
well,
do understand like the bitching at the refs, all that stuff, getting overly emotional, losing himself in a game. Like, yeah, those are not qualities of a leader. And but
but I just
we
think
don't
that
have
it
anyone
bleeds.
else.
I think it bleeds into the team a little bit, even if it's not like a direct like, you know, but because I wonder with you guys, I mean, I haven't been watching you super consistently, but I almost wonder if there's, like you said, with the complacency, like, okay, they feel like they're out of the woods a little bit, right? With like, your form this year so far.
We're just not on the hot seat anymore, and you can see it.
Yeah, but that's the thing is like, then do you sort of lose the results might go your way, but in the long term, what's the next step? What's the, you know, because in my mind, you should have two goals for the rest of the season. First of all, is for as much as you can. I mean, you're probably going to have a new coach coming in this summer, but as much as you can, get these guys to a sense where they know how to play with each other in different ways, different styles, like, but at a fundamental level, like, there's connections there that
Mhm. They're
that
not doing that. They're playing to
but
their
that's what I'm
strengths because these players have, Luke Shaw, Maguire, Dallo, these guys were around since Solskjaer, since Ali, since God, the special one, fucking Jose. Like this, I've had the same back line for 8 years. And we bring in, Martinez and Delit. Those are our only other two leaders, but they're not consistently on the pitch. They're injury prone. And
I
I
mean,
think
what
United suffers a lot of the same problems that Real Madrid does, and that there is a cancer in the background. I don't know if it's at the board level. I don't know if it's in the dressing room. I don't know if it's specific players. Like when I think about United, I immediately think of like people that I strongly despise. I think of Marcus Rashford. I think of Jadon
and,
Sancho.
and hats off to Ruben Amorim. He got Marcus out. He got Sancho out. He
Right?
got Garnacho out. Like
I
we've
think
we've
yeah,
made good steps
Sancho,
to cutting out the cancer.
Garnacho, Pogba, Jesse Lingard, all dudes that thought they were like above the club, above playing on ridiculous wages that just didn't try or care. Like you could
I
see it in
think
their demeanor.
I think we're slowly getting better at this, but it's still going to take
Which
some
is
more time to
why
get
I
rid of
think
them.
for the first time in a while, is playing decently and they're in third. Like I know they're not playing beautiful total football, but they're in third place. They're qualifying well, potentially going to qualify for Champions League. And I think a lot of it has to do with like those morons that were exiled from the club. But I still think I can't name any off the top of my head. I'm sure that there's still some people in there that kind of need to be, told, "Hey, get out of here, go somewhere
Luke
else."
Shaw.
I mean, Luke Shaw he's played what, 10 games in the
Yeah,
last
this dude
3
this dude wants
years?
to play in the World Cup. That's the only reason he's
That's the
having
only
a
reason why
season.
he's currently fit. If there wasn't a World Cup next year, the dude would be sitting on the bench sucking on his thumb taking
Yeah.
$350,000 a week.
Talk about a contract extension. I
He's
would never
yeah.
extend this guy's.
It's the same thing like when I see Maguire. Maguire almost looks okay with being on the bench at times.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. I mean that's what his role is now. He's just an experienced backup, and he
And
knows
that's
it
the
too.
thing. It's just like you can't. Lisandro Martinez won a World Cup, and he's like, my career is done. He gets injured every 3 weeks. He doesn't try that hard. All he does when he comes
I
on the
disagree.
field,
He's a very hard worker, but
I don't
it's
like
it's
him.
just the injuries.
It's the injuries, but when he comes on, is the definition of trying go studs up through someone's chin just because I'm Argentinian? Like, is that the definition of
It's not what
trying?
he does.
He does the same thing as Romero. It's
It's
every
not.
time he's just like he wants to assert dominance. He just comes on the field straight through someone. He's like
Not what he does at
in their
all.
face. It's just he does the same thing as Christian Romero for Tottenham. I don't think he deserves to play for United. I think he's a moron. I like Lenny Euro for the future. Delit,
Uh,
I forgot Delit even plays for United. I'm not
yeah,
gonna
he's
lie.
been
Like when
out.
you said that, I actually forgot. I was like,
Yeah.
yo, holy, this dude plays for United. Dallo gets shit on all the time.
He's
And
a
I feel
great
like
athlete.
Dallow's the only professional one in that back line.
I
Like
uh,
honestly, he
I
just comes
disagree.
in, he does a job.
Do you still have Mazraoui?
We
Yeah.
do.
That's crazy.
He comes. He's a rotational outside back because Luke Shaw's out now, so he'll probably be starting at left back because Luke Shaw just picked up an injury, but he's been coming on to like seal games off. Like he'll come on the last 20 minutes on either side
Hmm.
to strengthen the defense.
I
But he's not a
I
bad player. He's just not
I
special.
don't I don't want to like totally, as you said, spit in your cereal, but I, in the grander scheme with United, I think the main reason why I'm like hesitant to even like entertain this resurgence in form
There's so much
is
work to be done.
there's still so much to be done, and I'll keep banging on that drum until I see it change with you
And
guys because you like,
making,
what are you gonna do coach wise? That's the big. I think that's the biggest question, the biggest
I agree.
issue for next season. But in the longer term, next season included, are you just gonna keep doing the same thing? Like,
I,
are you gonna bring somebody in and give them time, or
I I know the right answers. I don't know if they'll do it. That's only what a United fan could tell you is that we know what coach we think would be the best to bring in. It's an Unai
Emery?
Emery.
I think the
Yeah,
right
Emery
answer
would
is
be the
Luis
best
Enrique.
option. And um, as far as like bringing in new players, like getting rid of guys, making new changes, qualifying for Champions League is the first step for that. Because I mean, even when we didn't make Champions League, we're still in for big names. It's between City and Arsenal for Gyökeres. He's going to pick Arsenal, and it's between United and Spurs for Mbuemo. He's going to pick us. Like we're still in a pecking order, sort of, but we're at the bottom. But when we qualify for Champions League, we're considered. You know, people are going to want to come to us if we're in the Champions League.
I just like. I are you gonna give Emery 3 years at least is my
They have to.
question. That's the thing is you can't do this even 18 months. Like you need 3 years at least
I think if
to
they give
clear out the
Carrick,
dead wood.
I think if they give Carrick the job, they'd keep him long term because he'd be that yes man the owners want. He'd be like the Liam Rosier at Chelsea, the
The
guy who just
Arbeloa
listens
at
to the
Madrid.
ownership.
The Arbeloa at Madrid as well. It's just a guy to say the blame is on me for the loss,
The
even
difference
though
between
the dog shit
Madrid and
players.
the difference between like us and Chelsea though is Liam Rosier is their permanent manager and we have interims,
Yeah.
which is like thank God we still have a chance to bring in somebody real, but Chelsea are screwed. Um, what was I going to get into? So Bruno new contract. Teams might go in for Bruno. I know he plays in the 10. He's a little bit older, but
Is
I would
that a
give him a new
more
contract.
protecting the value? Is that protecting his value for sale, or is that actually you want him to stay?
I want him to stay. There's no one else I could bring in.
How
I would
old
How
is
say
old is
he?
he?
32, maybe. That sounds right.
I think he's got another 2 seasons in him.
Two
I
seasons as the 10 role? How old is Modric? How
41.
old did you keep Modric for?
We sold him at 39 or 40.
Yeah, so I think Bruno plays till he's 36. I think that's his limit. Just because he plays the
No,
10.
I just mean he's got 2 more seasons left in the Prem.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
I agree with that. But he's the age he is and he's putting up numbers.
Yeah, I think Bruno's great. I'd take
He's
him at
31 years old.
okay.
I
So
think you guys are a little bit at risk of him being like your Ozil.
I think I'm scared he's going to leave us. I think like he's not even going to go to Saudi. I think he looks at a Bayern Munich or a Real Madrid if they're smart enough to take him.
Real Madrid doesn't sign players over 30.
Yeah, well then I'm less worried about that. But we need to make Champions League to keep Bruno. If we don't make Champions League, we lose Bruno Fernandes.
This
Yeah.
season?
hmm
Okay.
Where I think I saw a news report saying we're going to offer him a contract for 400 grand a week,
Oh,
and
what a
I
good
would
way to
do
get
it.
the
I would
guy
do it to
signed.
keep him. I don't care.
Really? I mean, like, because is he gonna whatever happens, whether you bring in Emery, whether you keep Bruno, whoever you bring in, I don't think there's anything that could happen that's where you guys could be maybe even third favorite for the title next season,
Mm.
which I know is not like a crazy statement, But the
I think
point
I think
is,
it's all season to season. I mean, you never
but
know what's going to happen. Liverpool were first last year comfortably, and now they're shit. They're dog water.
yeah. But I
If you
mean,
don't think that could happen to Arsenal in the blink of an eye,
no,
it
it could
can.
100%. Yeah, it 100% could. We're like a couple of results away from being on the same points as you. Like it's small margins, but that's what you do when you're the better team is you make up the small margins.
And
So like, but my point okay, in terms of the teams that you're in and around right now, I just I would say the same thing about Liverpool and Chelsea. Maybe not Liverpool. I think I would probably put Liverpool third for like if I was gonna right now make a next season
I
prediction.
agree.
But I think there's a lot of work to be done with all the clubs, and I just when I'm thinking about the situation with Bruno and why the reason I brought up the Ozil thing is because I feel like he's almost one of the pieces that you need to move on from, maybe more so from like a financial wage structure standpoint
I
to
disagree. I think
rebuild the squad
I
and
don't want we United were surprisingly with no fucking football. We were profitable last season because the owners cut down the size of the club significantly. Like we went from like Liverpool say has 3,000 employees, United had 3,000 employees. We're down to half that size. And that's not sustainable for the future. Obviously, you can't cut your workforce in half again to cover for it, but it
I think
saved
you're
us a
both right.
year and now we're in Champions League, so we're going to have money coming in.
I think you're both correct. I think that you extend Bruno for 2 years, but at the same time, you get a scout to find some up and coming dude with a similar profile that's
Oh,
like 18, 19, but
it's
like
going to
kind
be
of
it's going
under
to
the
be Palmer or
radar.
Rogers. That's those are the two guys right now.
I don't see them as the same profile though. Like you're talking about a guy that can pick the ball up 15 yards out of his
I
own
mean,
box.
no one's a creator like Bruno.
No one's a creator like Bruno, but like you don't replace a creator of his caliber with someone that's not a creator. You just replace him with a creator who's like not as good. Because you're still
yeah.
gonna need a creator. Like
Well,
I wouldn't replace
I'm
Bruno
plugging in
with
guys who can develop to be better players.
yeah,
Morgan
that's what I'm
Rogers is
saying.
young.
You keep
Cole
Bruno for
Palmer's
two
young.
years and you develop some 19, 20 year old who's showing that he can kind of create and do stuff like that now. And then when Bruno's gone, this kid is like, somewhat
Yeah.
ready to step in and fill. Not to do it at the same level as Bruno, because I don't think it's the same thing with us and Tony Cruz. We still
Mhm.
haven't found a Tony Cruz replacement. We've got
Bruno's
three dudes that run around in circles, making up for the two fucking morons in front of them that don't do any defending. Like we don't have anyone that can set the tempo of a game.
I think
Bruno's
what you
agent
just
said that he would consider signing a new contract if A, we had Champions League, and B, it's dependent on who we bring into the club. And I can see the club spending an exorbitant amount on players just to keep them because they have to.
Yeah.
but that's what
I
I don't get is like the point of my argument is I don't I don't think you can build the team around him anymore
no.
for to get to where you want to be. That's my
We
whole
can
point. It's
strengthen
like
what we don't
you
have.
can
That's more of
yeah,
the game
but
we're playing.
fine, you can keep him, but you don't when he's gone, the level drops
Yeah,
significantly.
it does.
And who are you going to then play through? Like that's my point is like I'd almost cash in on him, maybe go get a bigger name, like go hard for Palmer or something like
Hmm.
or somebody like that and do that now so that you can get in a manager who can start the process at an ideal point in the process. Whereas if you bring in with Arteta, he had to get rid of Aubameyang and Ozil and all these guys, get rid of Guendouzi and starts from scratch and then, go from there. But with I mean, it's hard to do before you have a manager in, but I just think
I don't think it's up to the manager who we bring in.
no,
That's
it's
the
no, it's not,
thing.
yeah, that's the other thing. But still, like, I don't really see the point in like dragging out the Bruno thing and making him your focal piece and your
Yeah.
captain And then it's going to go nowhere, and then
Mhm.
you're going to have to completely restart the process,
We
and
have
that's
we
going
have
to
two directors of football because our actual director got fired, and now we just have two guys who handle it. We have a dude named Christopher Favell, who's the guy who scouts like the Stillers, the Sescos, like the really good talents. Like he's got connections through RB Group in Germany, and we have Wilcox, who is ex Chelsea and has the same kind of bullshit. I only buy 20-year-olds so I can sell them later down the line, and then they'll never bring you anything real kind of players. And that's, I think he might get fired, but
I still think that under no circumstances do you let Bruno leave. If you can
I
squeeze out
agree.
two more, if you can keep 2 more years of Bruno, maybe 3 if you're really pushing it, but build around it because right now they don't have a style of play. They don't have a philosophy. They don't even know who their manager is going to be in
Right.
8 months. So, like the way I've always looked at it is you sign players that are versatile and can play in what is currently the meta, right? The meta has been for the last 15 years high press possession, but you also need dudes that can do the nitty gritty and the dirty work.
Mhm.
We've seen this for years. Barcelona last year demolished everyone because they had a high line, they high press, they had high possession. City's done that for the last
It's
several years.
it's exactly what you're saying, but like I don't know the answer. I don't know how they want to play. I don't know what they're gonna do.
So what the answer is they just need to understand this is what is winning silverware because it's what City's done. The best version of Arsenal that we've seen over the last few years was doing that. I know they're a bit defensive now. That's what Barca's done. That's what Bayern's been doing. The best teams in Europe, high line, high press, possession. So if you
We
start
don't
to
have
recruit
highline
players,
players.
that's what I'm saying. You have to start building to be able to play that system, and then on specific matches, like any group of 11 individuals, bar Mbappe and Vinny, because they're horrible piece of shit human beings, can sit there and low block and park the bus. You got to recruit for players that can do this high octane, high press, possession based soccer. Because when you look at some of the recruitment United's done, it hasn't been, and this is the same for Madrid. Some of the recruitment hasn't been great. You signed a winger that has negative 15 pace in Sancho for 100 million. That's not the meta. You signed an Anthony who clearly was not ready
Yeah.
for the league for 100 million. That's not the meta. You
We didn't pay
signed
that
a
much for
five
either of them.
six, yeah, you signed a 5'6" center back in a high line ball playing era of football. And the only way to counter it is to go direct. What is the 5'6" center back going to do in that situation? Like, this is what I'm saying. The signings, I don't know what they were thinking with some of these signings. And don't think I'm
Mhm.
trying to come at United. United's my
No, no,
favorite club.
it's their fair points.
Right? You know what
But
I'm
I'm just
saying?
happy we're past these the
Exactly. If
Sanchos
you
and the
get rid of the
Anthony.
dead wood and you start recruiting to play the meta of, I know it's annoying.
It's
This
the
is
leaf
why I
I
keep
think we've turned.
Yeah, Pep ruined football. Like I'm gonna say it 100 times. Every single team plays the same way. If it would only enter the thick skulls of the United board and the Real Madrid board. Real Madrid is even worse than you guys in this situation. We don't recruit for a style of play. We recruit for who's gonna fucking sell a jersey at the end of the day.
Mhm.
Like we had 2 left wingers. What did we go and do? We went and signed a left winger. We only sign dudes over the age of 30 if it's a free transfer. And then we give them a $150 million signing bonus, and we don't recruit in positions that we need players. Look at Trent. We signed a right back that can't defend because Liverpool fans brainwashed the universe into thinking this guy's the best right back on the planet. I would have crawled through a bed of nails and lava from Michigan to Paris myself to put Hakimi on my back. I would have fucking strapped the dude to my back and crawled across the ocean. There is no ocean between France and Spain. My bad. I would have crawled from Paris to Madrid with Hakimi on my back like this on all fours. I don't care if I died in the process to get this man as our right back. Who did we go and sign? We went
Trent
and
on a
signed a
free.
dude that crosses the ball. Who's he going to cross to? Someone tell me the one player that's getting into the box for us to cross to.
But he's best friends with Jude.
Yeah, and guess what? Jude used to get in the box. Does he get in the box anymore? No. Why? Because we went and recruited a Ninja Turtle from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles who, instead of getting to the back post, I could get to the back post. You could get to the back post. Nick could get to the back post. What are we paying you trillions of dollars for if you can't do the simplest part of this? Just run to the back post. All you gotta do is run to the dang back post. But he doesn't do it. He just stands at the edge of the box like this, and when he doesn't get the cut back, and of course he's not getting the cut back because there's 35 dudes in the box, he goes like, bro, United, Madrid, same thing. Terrible recruitment, awful policies with transfers and signing players. I think, and this might be controversial, United's actually better off than we are. You guys are taking steps towards the right direction. I feel like every waking moment, I peel my eyelids open because I'm forcing them to stay shut because I don't want to watch this. And I watch my team play, and I'm like, we're somehow getting worse. We're getting worse. You know what? I just went off on a crazy tangent. I'm gonna get a drink. I'll be right back. You guys.
Dude, I
Okay.
cannot wait for the Real Madrid segment of this.
All right. Let's just
So
finish off the United stuff before he gets back. So I have do United versus Palace. Who fucking cares? Good form. Fuck no. Keep Carrick. Who knows? Fucking. What are we going to look for in the summer? I said that we're going to have to impress Bruno in order to keep him. Who could we even bring in? What do we need? We need probably another center back, and we definitely need two midfielders.
How
So,
tall is Schlotterbeck?
6'2",
Is he
6'3".
really?
Yeah.
Okay, he's the first one. You sign him by any means necessary. Luke
I
Shaw.
don't even I mean I said I wanted him before. I would take a Premier League proven player just as much as him. Lacroix from Crystal Palace, Malik Tiaw from Newcastle, both Premier League proven center backs that are basically off-brand Saliba and Gabriel.
Okay. You need
I
a left back.
I would love
Luke
any
Shaw
of
needs to be
them.
deported.
Left back,
Yep.
Truffet from Bournemouth.
Okay.
24 years old, French guy, very, very high performing in the Premier League right now. Good up and down the field. He takes people on, his high success rate. I think he's interesting. Or Lewis Hall from Newcastle, just for the homegrown
Okay.
aspect. All right, midfielders. So Arsenal have showed interest in Tonali. We saw that because they checked for his availability. He's one of my top picks. I think United would be stupid to not even be monitoring him. If he goes to Arsenal, I'll be very sad because he'd just be a sub for them, and he's too good for that. There's also reports that Tonali wants to go back to Italy, and I could see that. I could see him telling United and Arsenal to fuck off. I want to go play for AC Milan.
isn't that where he came from, or was it
Yeah.
Juve?
He never
Okay.
wanted to leave AC Milan, I think. Was it Juve?
They sold him because they knew he was going to get done for betting.
Yeah, because when he got to Newcastle, he didn't play
Yeah.
for the first year, right?
And fair play to Newcastle for still extending his contract. I heard that Tonali was eternally grateful for them sticking with him, and he does have a good allegiance and loyalty to Newcastle, which is happy well for him. It doesn't really fucking help me.
Yeah, I feel
But
like they're going to be very mindful in terms of handling that situation with how they kind of got screwed with Isak
yeah, it's
and
gonna be
Ekitike.
70 million to get Tonali out of that club,
Yeah, I mean,
which I would pay in a fucking heartbeat. But
I kind of almost don't even want him unless we're going to get rid of somebody because, like you said, I just don't really see what I mean. He's probably closest to a like for Declan Rice, and it's I mean, he's the most important player in our squad right now.
mhm.
So where's he? I mean, we just signed Zubimendi. Are we going to replace him immediately? Is he going to, Marino is an option there. So are we just going to bloat the midfield more? I also kind of feel like he's sort of not the profile we need. I don't know. I don't see him coming to us. I could see him more going to you guys. I think he'd be a perfect signing for United right
Yeah.
now.
How
So
old's
we need two
Kvaratskhelia?
starting center mids.
How old's Kvaratskhelia?
Kamara, 6 foot.
Six.
How
I said how. Wait, did I say how tall or how old? He's
Oh,
25.
he's young. Yeah.
You're younger than us. Sign him. Give PSG 80 mil, 90
No,
mil.
Kvara would cost 150, and he wouldn't come to you. Well, he would come to United because he's a Ronaldo stan, but we'd have to be there. They're not. They just signed him. He's not leaving.
Wow, his birthday
Yeah.
was February 12th.
Yeah. All right. Back to the midfielders. Fucking Man U, Man City are monitoring Elliot Anderson and Felix Nemeka from from Dortmund, and Bruno Guimaraes. So basically, look at all these midfielders: Tonali, Anderson, Nemeka, Bruno Guimaraes, Stiller. It's like we're going to be in competition with big names to sign these players, and I just say put United's name in the hat for all of them, and I'll take any of the two. You know, Anderson and Tonali would be the perfect two, but I would take Anderson and Nemeka. I would take Tonali and Bruno Guimaraes, or not together. That wouldn't happen, but you know what I mean? Like I would take any permutation of those two midfielders and think we could come out as a better team.
Absolutely.
Real
All
Madrid
right.
are still monitoring Stiller from what I've heard, but
You guys ready to get into Real Madrid?
I can't wait for this. Yeah.
let's do it.
Bro, we lost to Gaddafi. We lost to the Libyan dictator, Gaddafi. I'm saying because it sounds like Hitafe. But let's get into this. First of all, R.I.P. Rodrigo. Torn ACL. Now, obviously, I feel for the player, and I don't want to make it all about the business side of things and the Real Madrid side of things. So I'm hoping he does good. He's going to miss the World Cup, obviously. His season's done. It just stings, and this is going to sound a bit selfish. I don't want people to think I'm inhumane, because I do obviously hope Rodrigo recovers well. We could have sold this guy in the summer. Did not get $1 for him. He's just deadwood on the bench, doing absolutely nothing. And now his value is probably nothing. Nobody knows what he's going to look like post ACL injury. He's not going to play for several months. No one's going to sign him before they see him play. So there's a huge loss right there. And he's never going to be that guy for us anyways, because he never gets to play on the left wing. Funnily enough, when he did play on the left wing yesterday, he looked pretty solid. He looked better than the moron that's been playing left wing all season long. Now, obviously, you guys know, and some of the people watching this know, that I run my own Madrid-based page. And I made a video talking about if any of you have commented in the last few weeks talking about Real Madrid still has a chance to win La Liga, you should block me. And you should sit in a corner and stare at the wall and think about what you have done. And to beg the universe for forgiveness, because I don't understand in what universe someone's ball knowledge can be that bad to where they actually think Real Madrid can win the league. Like, this is how I know they don't watch. They're just bandwagon fans that are like, oh, well, Mbappe plays for Real Madrid, so I'm a Real Madrid fan. They don't even watch the games. Like I was saying with Nick and United and them recruiting for the meta, when I watch us play, we don't have a style of play. Now, Real Madrid's never really had a style of play. They just have the best players, and they have a combination of players that do the nitty-gritty and like the dirty work, and they win games. This is why I don't care how Arsenal wins their games. If Arsenal wins it playing tiki-taka, dope. If Arsenal wins it playing haram ball, dope. But they have the pieces, they have the personnel to do either one. And to do it in multiple fronts because they have depth as well. Real Madrid doesn't have the type of players to defend in a low block and play haram ball because Huijsen is 6'3" or 6'4" and doesn't know how to head a ball. Rudiger's injured every 2 days. Eder Militao has not played soccer in 3 years. David Alba has not played soccer in 2 years. Nacho left, and he's like, obviously he's gone, right? Who else do we have at center back? Asensio, people were telling me Asensio's the Ramos regen. Bro, I don't know if Asensio's looking left or right sometimes. Okay, let's move on from the center backs. We went and replaced 73-year-old Carvajal with the worst one-on-one defender on planet Earth. So, obviously, that further proves that we cannot defend in a low block because he's going to get rinsed one-on-one. Now, we have Mendy playing left back, or had Mendy playing left back. Everyone and their mom knows how I feel about Mendy. I think he's one of the worst footballers to ever play for Real Madrid ever. He can defend really well. He provides absolutely nothing else. So the one guy that we can actually trust to play in a low block system is Mendy. And I despise him. All right? So, and he doesn't play because he's injured all the time, just like everyone else on our back line. Now, we signed Carreras, who's actually been our signing of the season. He's actually been great. Like, he's been legit. He's had 1 or 2 blippy games where he hasn't been great, whatever. He's been 10 out of 10. He's been awesome. He can defend. He can attack. He's solid. Then you look at our midfield. We've got Tchouaméni. Solid 6, defends well, intercepts the ball, wins the ball back, blah, 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 can play as a center back. He's actually awesome, but he's got 4 morons behind him. Kamavinga, injured every 3 games. Also, really rash with his tackles. He's a walking yellow card, walking double yellow card. That's how Kamavinga's always been. Fede Valverde has had to play right back most of the season, so we don't actually even have him in midfield. Vinny does 0 defending. We can't play a low block system. Mbappe does 0 defending. We can't play a low block system. To this day, we don't know who our right winger is. Sometimes it's Mastantuono. Sometimes it's Rodrigo. Sometimes it's Brahim Diaz. Sometimes it's this guy. Sometimes it's Gouler. We don't know who it is. There's no consistency, and none of those guys are very good at defending anyways. We don't have a striker or pace in behind to defend deep and hit on the counter because Vinny and Mbappe, for some reason, don't make runs in behind either. They always want the ball to feed. So, from a squad building perspective, we can't play a low block. Then you look at it as like, okay, we're going to play this high line, high octane, high press, possession-based style. Vinny doesn't pass to the overlapping fullback no matter what. It just doesn't happen.
And Carreras probably does that all the time.
Carreras makes the run like I watch. It baffles me. It baffles me. He makes the run so many times, never gets the ball.
Because that's his strength. Is going
what Vinny
forward and
tries
putting
to do
stuff in.
Is that dumb-ass right-footed Trivela cross. He's like, and it never comes off. I'm like, okay, bro, you got an assist with it 7 months ago. Can you please stop? Please stop trying this dumb Trivela. Right? Can you just play the overlap once? Like, we signed the guy for 55 mil. He's been begging for one through ball from you. He hasn't gotten it.
Can I quote Elliot from 2 years ago? What the fuck's an Alvaro?
Right? So it's just
what? Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. What?
It's back when he was playing for United, and we were talking about like what players we had on loan or something, and I was like, our Alvaro Fernandez at
Alvaro Carreras. And Elliot,
it used to be Alvaro Fernandez. He changed his name. And Elliot's like, what the fuck's an Alvaro?
I don't remember that even slightly. I'm sorry. Continue.
I'll never forget it. Now he plays for Madrid.
We have so Hoyson, like if we're looking at this high line and the back line, Trent obviously is always high. Can't keep his man. Can't stay with his man. Ball goes over his head. Carvajal doesn't have the pace. Rudiger's always injured. Militao's always injured. Alaba can't win the ball out of the air. He's just not big enough. That's never been his game. And Carreras is the only decent one. Poisson doesn't have the pace to play that kind of high line, and we don't expect Courtois to play 30 yards outside of his goal. In terms of having a midfielder to orchestrate and set the tempo, we don't have that either. Valverde, not that player. Tchouaméni, not that player. Kamavinga maybe can be, but even him, he's too rash with his decision making. Bellingham can do it, but hasn't been really put in the situation where he's able to because we don't play that style of play. He's just defending nonstop. We don't have a genuine center forward to cross the ball into, as I've mentioned many times. We don't have a left-footed right winger that can cut inside and drive down the line. We just simply don't have that. We have Mastantuono, but he's not a winger. He's not a line-breaking winger. This is why I say the winger profile that you bring in is so important. You cannot be a winger in this day and age without pace. You just can't.
Mastantuono's a 10?
That's what he should be. But we don't play with 10s anyways. It was just a mis-signing. This is what happened. Florentino Perez missed out on Neymar 15 years ago and swore he would never miss out on a young rising star ever again. So any rising star that comes out of South America, he's like, here's 150 mil. Take him right away. Please, give me. Right away.
Hendrick.
He's just hoping for the next Neymar, but that's never going to happen because you don't get a Neymar every 5 years, every 2 years, every 3 years. You get a Neymar once in a generation. That's just how it is. So, and I've been saying this for ages, you cannot be a winger without pace in today's game. It just doesn't work. I'm sorry. Tell me one winger that's successfully beating his man, getting 15 to 20 goals a season, every single season without pace. Tell me one.
Elise.
Elise is not slow.
He's
slow. Also 5-star skills, 99 dribbling.
Yeah, that's because he's like it's not fast.
So he can get away with it because he's 5-star skills, 99 dribbling. He can get away with it. And he's also playing in the Bundesliga. No disrespect to the Bundesliga.
Disrespect to the Bundesliga.
Disrespect to who was it?
Rob Holding.
Rob Holding. Right? Tell me. All right, I'll give you Elise. Whatever. Give me another one.
Saka.
Saka hasn't gotten 15 goals in 25 years.
Oh, fair.
Yeah, I was gonna say Trossard, but he doesn't have that number,
And I'm not
that
asking for
output.
Ronaldo Messi numbers. I'm not asking for
Yeah,
Mbappe
no,
numbers, 50, 60 goals. I'm asking for 15.
yeah,
15.
yeah, it doesn't exist.
It
Yeah,
doesn't exist. If you're looking at the wingers that are hitting over 10 goals a season, Vinny, one of the fastest human beings on earth. Mbappe, one of the fastest human beings on earth. Lamine Yamal, he's not slow. I'm not going to call him one of the fastest, but he's pretty quick. Kvaratskhelia, pretty quick. Dembele, pretty quick. Rafinha, pretty quick. Luis Diaz, pretty quick. These are the guys that are going to get you these kinds of numbers. And we don't have any of them. Well, we have two of them, but one's playing striker, and one has been horrible all season long because he didn't get along with Xabi Alonso. He's had an uptick in form lately, but the rest of the team is horrible. So, okay, we don't have the personnel to do either one of these styles of play. If we could play haram ball and get results, I would do anything. I'd be so happy with it. People could call us set piece FC. People could call us terrorists. People could call us haram ball FC. People could call us whatever they want. If we were top of La Liga and guaranteed to go through to the next round of the Champions League, I could watch us put all 11 men in the box for 90 minutes and not move, and I'd be happy. I would not care. Because at the end of the day, we go home with a trophy. But we can't do that either. We don't have the personnel for that. And we don't have the personnel to do the attacking side either. We have
I
been
mean,
horrendous.
I
Horrendous.
mean, you hinted on it because I have this written down. I said like too much youth investment question mark. You kind
Oh,
of just said yes.
100%.
And I look at teams like Arsenal. Look at Elliot's whole midfield. They're all 26 plus.
Which
Like they're experienced ballers.
they're 26 plus, but what Arsenal lacks is they have the youngest average squad age, I believe, in the Prem. You need a mixture of that talent and that youth, but you also need the old heads in the locker room to get you over the finish line.
It's a right mixture, correct? Yeah.
Right? You need that mixture. The reason why Madrid was so successful in 2022 and 2024 is because you had two of the greatest center mids in the history of the sport that were older and experienced, but you also had a Camavinga, a Tchouaméni, a Valverde, and a Bellingham next to them. You get what I'm saying? Look at us post Modric and Cruz. We still haven't replaced them not only personnel wise and like play style wise, we haven't replaced them leadership and experience wise. Who are the leaders in our dressing room? Like, as much as everyone loves and rates Valverde, Valverde is not a leader. Valverde is not a captain. Yeah, he wears the armband. You think Valverde can look at Vinny and Mbappe and be like, yo, get your shit together? There's no shot they run the dressing room. But if Mbappe was being a moron, Sergio Ramos could look at him and spit in his face and be like, yo, get it together. Toni Kroos could look at him and be like, get it together. Modric could be like, get it together. Nobody on the roster right now can look at Vinny and Mbappe and tell them to pick up their act. Because Mbappe is going to look at them and be like, I'm Mbappe. I've won a World Cup, blah, blah, blah. You know who else has won a World Cup? Toni Kroos. And Toni Kroos has won 5 Champions Leagues on top of that. You know who else has made a World Cup final appearance with a country that's the size of a pond? Modric. He's also won 5 Champions League titles. You know who's won a World Cup and 4 Champions League or 5 Champions League titles? Sergio Ramos. Varane. Right? All these dudes that you can't look at them and talk back. You just can't. I don't care who you are. Right? Even Ronaldo. Like, I was thinking about this the other day. Ronaldo, arguably the greatest player in the history of the sport. I know everyone else is going to say Messi, but to my eyes, it's always going to be him. Ronaldo never had this much of a chokehold on the dressing room and the decisions and the leadership role at Madrid. He never did. And he's
even if he did, it would have been deserved.
It would have been deserved, absolutely. What has Mbappe done in his career? He won
Paris.
a World Cup. He won a World Cup. Besides the World Cup, what has he done?
He's still probably the majority owner of PSG.
Yeah, he won the World Cup 8 years ago. What has he done since? He's won 8 League Ones. My grandma could win League One with PSG. My grandma. What has he done besides? He's done absolutely nothing. He scored a World Cup and a Champions League final. 2 of them were penalties. Yes, blah, blah, blah. People are going to talk about Madrid penalties. I don't care. He scored a World Cup final hat trick. Did they win it? No. It means nothing. No one's 25 years from now, people are not going to talk about Mbappe's hat trick in the World Cup final. They're going to talk about, yo, y'all remember when Argentina won the World Cup final? That's what it's going to be. So Madrid is cooked. And we hired a manager who went an entire season undefeated in the Bundesliga. Yes, I understand it's the Bundesliga. And he had a tactical idea. He had a philosophy that he wanted to play. He was not backed. He was not supported. He was shunned. He was banished to the shadow realm because Mr. One goal in 22 appearances was not happy. And I will never ever understand. A lot of this is to blame on Florentino Perez. Now, I have a really, really, really hard time blaming things on Florentino Perez because under Florentino Perez, we've won 6 Champions League titles in 10 years. But I genuinely, like, I can't defend the guy anymore. The squad building, the replacement signings. Like, I was telling Nick, keep Bruno for 2, 3 years. Find the right young profile to come in and take over that role and not do as good of a job because no one's going to come in and do as good of a job as Bruno that's that young. The same way anyone we would have signed to replace Cruz, even if they were the exact same profile, wasn't going to do it as well as Cruz would have. But you still need that sort of profile, right? Well, who did we sign to replace Cruz and Modric? I was telling you guys to do it now before Bruno leaves, and Real Madrid was kind of trying to do the same things. We picked up Camavinga one window, 2022. We picked up Tchouameni 2023. We picked up Bellingham 2024. We signed 3 midfielders in 3 windows, young, hot, big names, up and coming, on the scene, blah, blah, blah. None of them were the profile that we needed to replace those two guys. Not only from a leadership perspective, but from a play style perspective. We never signed a genuine center forward like Benzema. We kind of made it work in that 4-4-2 diamond with Bellingham getting in the box, but we never replaced him with a genuine center forward. I would have preferred we signed Harry Kane. I was saying this years ago. Harry Kane would have been the perfect Benzema replacement. Perfect. Because he can do that build-up just like Benzema can. He could do that link-up play. He could play that false nine role just like Benzema can. If not, well, I don't want to say he could do the false nine role better. He could do it just as well or slightly worse than Benzema, but he's also a better finisher than Benzema.
Yeah.
He's a better goal scorer than Benzema. It would have been the perfect replacement, right? We didn't do that. We let Bayern Munich take him. Why? So we could sign the guy that convinced us he was coming 3 different times, used us to make PSG offer him even more money, even more ownership, even more power within the club, until he was fed up. He's like, okay, we're never going to win a Champions League. Then he came to us for a $150 million signing bonus, and then PSG went and won the Champions League. Who would have thought? So this club is cooked. We are the new
I
United. No offense.
I have a I have a couple questions.
Yeah.
First of all, okay, so is Arbeloa interim
No.
or he's permanent?
He's permanent because it doesn't say interim. So that's the only knowledge I have of him being permanent. It never said interim when he was announced. He's just
Who would you bring in the summer? Because I'm trying to think, and all the better options are like Barca linked.
the right option was Xabi Alonso.
I agree
And
ish.
we sacked him. And
Yeah.
we gave him a squad that has zero depth, has had 75,000 plus injuries across the last 3 to 4 seasons across the back line. And who did we sign to reinforce the defense? A 20-year-old center back with no experience, the worst one-on-one defender in history, and Carreras, who's actually been a good signing. So I'll get 1 for 3. We hit 1 for 3.
Okay, so what do you think is going to happen in the summer then? Like what if it's manager wise? Because like I'm kind of wondering because it feels like you're almost past like the end game in terms of Mbappe. Like he's here.
Yeah, he's gonna stay. There's no way.
And yeah, you know what I mean? Like he's here now. Okay. Like you don't have that hanging over your head in terms of all that like stuff with PSG and like it getting in the way of other things, right? So now you can go get a nine. You can go get a right winger. You can bolster the defense. Like there's no Mbappe now to go for Perez to say, "Oh, shiny thing, I want it."
Yeah.
Right? So like do you think now that this is maybe a period where you build up the rest of the squad and tackle some of those deficiencies? Or like what I mean, what do you see happening this summer?
I don't know what can be done unless. So I look at it from 2 ways. We need to know one, who the manager is going to be. Now, I love to talk tactics. From a tactical perspective, there's only 2 ways Real Madrid ever wins a trophy again. It's either we full commit to a 4-4-2 diamond, like we did in 2024, with Vinny and Mbappe as a front two. Rodrigo gets sold. Raheem Diaz gets sold. We do whatever we need to do with Mastantuono. And Bellingham returns to that box crashing, false nine, center attacking mid role. That's one. But that won't happen because Mbappe refuses to be on the right of a front two. It genuinely is that simple. It just comes down to his ego, like truthfully. Um, the other option is we go, like I was telling Nick with United, is to adapt to the meta and play the total football 4-3-3, 3-5-2 or 3-2-5 in possession, 2-3-5 in possession, whatever, with a left-footed right winger, a left-footed right winger, and a genuine center forward, like an actual target man center forward, and a tempo setting, ball playing midfielder in the midfield. What
Okay.
does that look like? That requires Vinny Jr. to be sold. That
Okay.
requires Elise is the only one I can think of to be bought in, right? And it requires Mbappe to be pushed out to the left wing, and it requires a striker of Haaland's caliber, which doesn't exist. And it requires a Vitinha in the midfield. Are we gonna go and pick up a Haaland quality striker?
Is it too late for you to grab Kane? I think he's for sale, honestly.
He's too old. Florentine, that's just not the way it works at Real Madrid. He won't pick him up if he's that old. And it also requires Vitinha in the middle. Am I gonna seriously look at you guys and say we're gonna sell Vinny, pick up a Haaland caliber forward and Vitinha and Elise in one window, and spend 450 million? That's not gonna happen. Like this is the thing. One, I don't know who the manager's gonna be. Those are the two only tactical systems. I don't give a shit what anyone says, and if anyone disagrees, you're wrong. Those are the only two ways we ever win a trophy again in the next 5 years. Those are the only two tactical systems. A 4-4-2 is not going to work. A 4-2-3-1 is not going to work. A whatever is not going to work. We don't have the personnel for any of that. We don't. We simply don't. We don't even have a back line. I can't tell you who our back line's going to be next year. Alaba's leaving. His contract ends. Rudiger's leaving. His contract ends. Militao is probably going to get sold because we don't know what he's going to look like because he's played 5 games in 3 years. ACL tear left leg, ACL tear right leg, hamstring tear right leg. I'm not relying on Militao. We don't have center backs. We have one, Hoyson. He's 20, and he's not been great. He's not ready for the starting role. He's simply not. So, don't look at me and tell me back 3. We don't even have 2 center backs. We're going to lose 3 in one window. So,
you don't want to know my advice?
Yeah.
I would say do what Barcelona did with Rafinha. Look at a top performing player from a smaller team in the Premier League and make that signing.
In what position though?
In center back, you're looking for. You say tactics is your favorite thing to talk about. Transfers is my favorite thing to talk about. I could give you 4 center backs right now that could be top center backs in 2 years.
Let's hear.
If not, they're not now.
Let's hear them, and I'll tell you if Madrid would actually sign him or not based off.
Oh, they wouldn't. They're not smart enough.
Let's hear it. Let's see it. Who is it?
Lacroix from Crystal Palace is their central center back. He's tall, fast, great defender.
He won't get signed.
Malik Tiaw, Newcastle, Champions League proven. He's got 4 goals in the Premier League. Is similar to Gabriel.
Also
He's
not a PR name.
quick, tall, strong, fast, like everything you need in a center back.
Okay.
You could look at Mickey Van de Ven. He'll be available.
The PR name, that's a possible one.
Big, tall, fast. His defending isn't great, but he's good going forward. Okay. Ballard from Sunderland. I know that's a tough name to hear, but 6'2", really strong, really athletic, the highest defensive stats in the Premier League.
I'm not saying these aren't good pickups. It's just it doesn't work that way at Madrid, unfortunately.
Like every player I'm naming is.
There's one name on planet Earth, maybe 2, that are Madrid. Saliba and Bastoni. Those are the only 2.
Oh, 100%.
You look at Florentino Perez and be like, hey, fam, there's this dude at Sunderland. He's going to smack you and spit in your face. He's going to be like, Sunderland, mate, what you talking about?
Well, I could see Madrid going for Schlotterbeck, too.
But, yeah, it's just Schlotterbeck is a possible one. I agree. It's a PR name. He's coming from a big European club. Absolutely. Will we do those, though? No. Instead, we're going to go and we're going to look at Joshua Kimmich, right? Not a player we need. But maybe his contract's coming close to an end. He's a big PR name. Kimmich mentality memes, okay? And we're going to be like, here's a 750 billion signing bonus. So that you can come in and be the 3rd choice CDM behind Tchouaméni and Camavinga and be the 2nd choice right back after Trent because we signed him and he's a bigger PR name than you. That's how it's going to work. We're going to bring in someone on a free, give him a fat signing bonus that is not at all what we need for the squad.
Would you take Saka?
No, he's not a line breaking winger. This is why I agreed with your take the other day of like he needs to play more in the middle. I don't believe you can be a successful winger without pace unless, like Elise's case, you're 99 pace, not 5-star skills, which Elise can.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
genuinely. Like I don't think Saka's a bad player, but he
Mhm.
will never
He would still put up numbers in any league that's not the Premier League.
I think he'd get 10 goals like in a La Liga season. I think so. But that's you got to keep in mind. That's not the way things work at Madrid. You want the blockbuster name that's going to give you 25 plus.
Are there any players in the Liga that you're like, hey, they look like great prospects? Like
From La
anyone in the
Liga?
Liga that you
That's a
like?
good question. Let me think.
Because
That's
aside
a,
from like X ones, like Nico Williams
well,
is
what position?
any position, dude. Tell me
If
some
we sign
scouting.
Nico Williams, I would not breathe past tomorrow. If we sign, I genuinely no. Like I'm gonna keep it PG-13 for YouTube. If we sign Nico Williams, this is the last the world would ever see of me. Because I do not want another right-footed left winger. I will cry real tears. I
Mhm.
will fly to Spain and just sit there in the middle of the streets screaming as loud as possible for 15 days straight. There's
Yeah.
just no way.
Like I gave you five midfielders from the Premier League and five center backs from the Premier League that I would
Wait,
kick
who are the
down a police
midfielders?
officer's door to fucking
Who are
bring
the
to my club.
midfielders?
Huh?
Who are the midfielders?
Anderson,
Oh,
Tonali, Gimreich. Like there's more midfielders I would take from the Premier League immediately.
none of
But
those are tempo setters. Is the thing.
mhm.
That's the issue. We need a Cruz replacement. Now I know nobody's gonna do what Cruz can do, but we need a similar profile.
I'm
I think
asking,
that
is
fits.
there anyone in the Liga that you are you looking at right now?
Anyone in La Liga? Let's see. Man, I really wanted Zubamendi, but he left to Arsenal. He was like the best one in La Liga. No one in
Sanchez was a decent prospect, but he's fallen off.
no one in La Liga that I can think of. I can think of like once again, it's a PR name. It's gonna cost 100 million. Vitinha, João Neves,
Mhm.
fucking Rodri, but I don't know how Rodri's gonna look.
Everyone from PSG is expensive and
Everyone from
impossible to
PSG is
get out.
expensive. Rodri just came back from an ACL. He's been inconsistent with keeping his fitness. Like Odegaard, maybe, but does Odegaard leave this potential quad winning Arsenal team? Like,
I
Yeah,
I
he
I
he
I
does.
think
They're
he.
looking to get rid of him.
I think he actually. I think there's a possibility he goes this summer.
I saw links to United. I'm like, no.
yeah,
I saw that too, and
I would
I
love
that
him because I don't want him to score goals and get assists. Believe it or
yeah,
not, at Real Madrid, I just need somebody to get the ball from the defensive third to the attacking third. Think
yeah.
about how crazy that is. That is my ask of Real Madrid is to get a motherfucker that can get the ball from the defensive third to the attacking third. This is the standard we've reached. Like, I hate this club so much, bro. I hate this club so much. I couldn't even tell you who would come in at striker. Like the only name that comes to mind is Osimhen. And then once again, you have to worry about like, are we really prepared to lose a striker for 2-3 months for the Africa Cup of Nations, or
They
however
moved
long?
it to the summer.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the best news possible. Give me
Uh-huh.
Osimhen right now. Actually, hold on. Strikers in world football. Let's see. 25 best strikers in soccer. Harry Kane, too old. Jonathan David, hell no. I don't know who the hell put him on this list. Patrick Sheik, don't even know who that is. Sesko just joined United, not happening. I don't know who this is. Voltemada, maybe, but he's not a PR name. So it's not, but he's like the
He's
Nah, he's not
available
that.
though. He's
He's not
unsettled.
that.
perfect profile. 6'6", big dude, put him in the box. He'll get to the back post. Mateta, not a PR name. Mateus Cunha, not actually a striker. No, that doesn't make sense. João Pedro, no. Omar Marmoush, no. Ollie Watkins, no. Turam, decent profile, not a PR name. Gyökeres, not happening.
You don't think Marcus Thuram's a PR, not a PR name? His dad was
No,
a pro baller. His brother's a pro baller.
he's
He's
not.
Inter's go-to guy.
He's not. Ooh, Garasi. I would like Garasi. I do not mind.
28, 29.
Yeah, he had
See
38 goals.
Dortmund.
Yeah, the Dortmund striker.
Yeah,
And Osimhen's on this list. I would
What
not
about
mind.
Julian Alvarez?
Hell no. In this day and age, hell no. He's like 5'9". Hold on. How tall is
I'd
he?
take him in a heartbeat.
I would too. He would never come to either of us, but
Julian Alvarez height. Now, I'll tell you what. This is something that I was saying for months on my Madrid page. On the right wing, he's 5'7", bro. I'd rather gouge my eyes out with a cheese shredder than freaking watch this guy play striker for Real Madrid. If we bring back Endrick and play him on the right wing, he's 99 pace left footed. I would love to see
Is he
that.
really that fast?
He's so quick. We just don't see it because he never plays.
Mm.
Isak, not gonna happen. That's a PR name and a good profile, and he's a big dude.
He just broke his leg.
But he just broke his leg. It's not gonna happen. He also just joined Liverpool for 150 mil. Ekitike, I would not mind seeing at all, but also probably not gonna happen.
Well,
Julian
maybe in a couple
Alvarez,
years though.
Yeah, but
Maybe in a
he doesn't
couple
have a
years.
couple
But
years.
if
He
I
needs it
watch us play
now.
with Vinny and Mbappe for 3 more years, I will lose my mind. Holland. I would love Holland. I'd take Holland, obviously, but that's
You gonna pay him $900,000 a week?
I would. Me personally, I would, but that's not gonna happen, unfortunately. So yeah, I couldn't tell you who's gonna come in at striker. I'm still not convinced by Trent. I don't know who the ball playing.
No one was ever convinced by Trent.
Midfielders in world football. Let's see who could come in midfield. We need a tempo setting midfielder.
I think Vitinha is the guy. I mean, I think we even brought it up on like maybe the first show.
Yeah.
I think he's like perfect.
He is perfect, but he's gonna cost 150 mil, and Florentino
Yeah.
Perez only gives that to 35-year-olds on free transfers. So
I mean,
he refuses
how
to
long
give
is his
up-
contract? Is that something you could reach out to his agent and be like,
When does Vitinha contract end? 2029.
3 years?
Leon Goretzka, no. Rabiot, no. I didn't even know Rabiot was still playing.
For like Marseille.
Zaire Emery, no. Tielemans, no. Gavi. Can't believe Gavi's on the top 25. So bad. He's horrible. He's horrible.
Who's Barca's striker right now is kind of going off?
Ferran Torres. You know what's funny? For years, like I've had the Madrid page for a while. For ages, I was like, Araujo and Gavi are trash. Are trash. All these Barca fans were in my comments like, you don't know ball, you're so stupid. Araujo doesn't start, and he's been fit for months because he's not good. And Gavi,
He's the Romero.
when Gavi was fit, he wasn't starting either because he's just a donkey. He just runs around on the field and kicks people. I can do that. Pay me what he gets paid. I can run on the field and just kick someone. Tijani Reinders maybe, but I also don't.
Did he just signed him?
Yeah, they just signed him. Modric still better than everyone on this list, by the way. Valverde already plays for us. McTominay, nope, not the right profile. Guimaraes, nope, not the right. Barella, maybe, but also not going to leave because the Italian mafia will threaten to kill him. Fabian Ruiz, maybe. Once again, it's a PSG boy, going to cost a lot of money.
I feel like that's not really what you need.
He's decent with the ball. He can set the tempo, but he's not better than Neves and Vitinha at it.
He's good depth for PSG. That's about it.
Yeah, McAllister, maybe.
You don't want him.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like.
He's a 10 playing an 8. He's been out of position forever.
Yeah, João Neves maybe, but not gonna happen.
You should get Zoboslai.
He like I don't see him as a tempo setter. That's the thing. It's like growing up, this is a realization I've had over the last like year and a half, maybe 2 years. I never realized how rare this type of player was. Like, I just grew up watching Madrid, Barca, like all these teams, and it was just the norm to me. I'm like, get the ball on the back foot and play it fifth forward 25 yards on a dime. I thought that was normal.
It's why you're linked to Stiller though, because he's the tempo setter.
I mean,
He's the next prospect
in
like
all
that.
honesty, I haven't seen the guy play. If he actually is what they're saying he is, then yeah, by all means.
I watched 2 games and like everything they do goes through him.
Yeah.
But also their team isn't like too bad. So when I'm watching the Europa League, like they're clowning, shit teams and they're kind of just a better team.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I
don't know either.
It shocks me how rare this type of profile is. Like I never realized it growing up because I just thought it was the norm. It's all I saw.
My problem with Stiller is that he's not fast, which means not Premier League material, and he's also I don't see him going to tackles. So like all he does is passing and ball control and press resistance.
We were spoiled with Xavi, Iniesta, Rakitic, Busquets, Cruz,
Yeah,
Modric, Ozil, right? You don't see that anymore.
I kind of wanted to get on this just because like I can't help but think about it like every time I watch anybody.
Yeah.
Every time I watch the Champions League, every time I watch Arsenal or other Premier League games, which is mo most of what I'm watching, to be honest, but like it's just Ozil, Cruz, like you're saying, even like Marcelo at left back,
Yeah.
got like there's such a lack of that kind of quality anymore on the ball. It's so, and yeah, and we just
Pep.
have to go. Yeah, that's where I was going with it. Is like, dude, this guy ruined the game. It is. I don't even know what I'm looking at anymore. I'm looking at right backs that look like they're tens. Calafiori's popping up on the right wing. Like, Gyökeres at times looks like Ballard playing the nine. Like, and even Ballard scored a goal against us at Sunderland
He's
Stadium
a
of
good
Light.
center back. I'm
But
really
like,
impressed with that guy.
but it's just like, dude, wait, I don't even know what I'm watching anymore. As we're talking about these transfers, and Nick, this is why you said transfers are your favorite. Transfers are my least favorite thing to talk about because I almost don't even want to waste the time looking at these players because it's just I I don't want to say no talent, but I feel like there's no talent out there. Like there's
You
not.
could do the same thing that Liverpool did. Liverpool didn't sign anybody when they won the league. They signed one player, and
Well,
he
I'm
Hold
came
not
on. Are you
Hayes.
saying
They
that.
signed
joking?
Chiesa.
Wait. Are we tweaking? They just won the league and spent 450 million.
Yeah, this year, last year when
Oh,
they
you're
won
talking
the
about
league,
the
they didn't
last
sign
time? Okay,
anyone.
yeah.
Well,
They
I
just kept
kind of
going with the
yeah.
squad they had.
Yeah, but I just mean like it almost like I almost don't even care like who we bring in. I didn't know much about Zubimendi when we brought him in, but I heard good things. I had seen more of Gyökeres, but even then, like you don't know how it's going to translate from the Portuguese league to the Premier League. So it's
Right.
like okay, and
One day.
now we're seeing. I mean,
Darwin Núñez to Real Madrid. Here we go.
okay, he this I can't even. All right. Um, But no, I fully agree with you, Ollie. Like I can't stand what I'm watching. The game just feels so dead and like I miss these players. Like I even like, I'm thinking of growing up watching Arsenal, like Aaron Ramsey and like Rosicky and Santi Cazorla, like players like that who are not legends of the game, but that's closer to what the floor used to be.
Juan
You know what I
Mata,
mean?
David
Juan
Silva,
Mata, David Silva,
people that could
yeah.
actually do a little bit of magic with the ball rather than just pass from point A to point B.
Yeah,
Giroud.
I mean Pogba and mostly at Juventus, like it's you know Verratti. I don't, you can name 100 guys, but it's like it's just so lacking in today's game. I feel like the market for so many positions is like bone dry,
Yep.
and the only
I
players that you can
I think maybe for wingers and strikers, but I don't think so for midfielders and center backs.
I think the exact opposite. I think there's no midfielders. I think there's a plethora of strikers and wingers. They're just unrealistic options for every single club because they cost so much damn money. Like,
but I even so, I don't think that there are five truly elite strikers on the planet right now, like there used to be.
Kane, I don't know if I agree with you or not. I'm just trying to think. Holland,
Kane, Holland,
Kane,
Lewandowski, and
Lewandowski.
who else?
I'd say Osimhen just because of the numbers he puts up, but that was back when he was in Serie A, so I'm not going to say him anymore. Now he's in the Turkish
Right,
league.
but today, like
Yeah.
right now.
So we've got
If
three.
Alvarez goes to Barcelona, he would be on that list.
Well, that's not right now, so nope. Even
Luis
so,
Suarez of Benfica.
even so, I wouldn't put him there.
Yeah. I feel like Isak could have been that had he stayed at
Nope.
Newcastle,
Yeah, yeah,
but
no, but no.
unfortunately, no.
But even so, like a player like Isak, like yeah, okay, 20 goals in the Prem, nice, whatever, won a trophy with Newcastle, but that is not Benzema pedigree. That's not
No,
Lewandowski pedigree. That's
no.
not uh, Luis Suarez pedigree. Like yeah,
Yeah.
these guys used to be everywhere. Even a Giroud at the time was like, kind of almost like mid tier or upper
Scorpion kickbar
Mhm.
yeah,
down goals.
but like upper mid tier striker, and he's actually France's all-time goal scorer.
Yeah.
Bruno's
Uh,
debatably the best 10 in the world right now, and there's not really competition. Jamal Musiala caught an injury. Wirtz is proving to be kind of a flop.
This is what I'm, yeah, and I think it's, I mean, I think probably defenders and keepers are a little deeper than further up the pitch in terms of like depth of quality in the world. But I can't think of more than those three strikers right now, and they're all aging, except well,
Yeah.
Holland isn't, but
I think there's more wingers for sure than strikers, but what I think there's almost none of is midfielders. Like truthfully. Like when we ask like who's the tempo setting midfielder? I think of Pedri and I think of Vitinha and Neves, and maybe not even Neves as much. And then I'm just like, who else? I don't really know. Like if I look at like United's midfield, I don't think it's anyone on there besides Bruno, right?
I think Casemiro can do a pretty decent job. He's just aging out.
He's not a tempo setter, man. He like, and maybe that's me saying it from the perspective of how I watched him at Madrid because he had the best tempo setters on the planet next to him, so I saw
Mm.
them do it. I don't watch enough United to know, but like he was always a ball winner in my eyes. Wingers is a bit different. Like you've got some guys that have pace and can take their man on one, but like, can we bring them in? No, because we're not
In
prepared to
terms of
put our man
tempo
down.
setter, what do you mean? Do you mean somebody who
Someone that's composed on the ball, can turn out of pressure, and isn't just a pass back merchant to
okay,
bait the
I
press
see.
from the opposing center mids.
like actually breaks
And
lines.
actually
Right.
And
breaks lines with their own ability, but also the passes that they see.
yeah,
Like, like you know that, like what's the biggest thing we see in building out of the back now? One center back pops it into the six. That is a trigger for the other center mids on the opposing team to press the six. He knows he's not getting out of it, so he just bobs it back to the other center back, and then they play into the space the opposing center mids leave behind. That's all I see. But I would watch Busquets, Iniesta, Xavi, Cruz, Modric. They wouldn't need to just bop it back to the center backs. They'd pick it up on the half turn. They do that like back foot scoop turn. They do the
yeah,
freaking V cut, whatever you want to call the moves. I don't know the name of the terminology, but they'd escape the pressure on their own without just constantly being pass back merchants.
yeah. It's
And
like
then they
so,
get the ball forward.
yeah, it's so like hand holding now, almost. It's like we don't want to put too much pressure on you. Like we don't want to. It's like no, you can't ever develop that skill if you don't do it.
I
If you
agree.
don't think you can do it. Nobody has that, and that's kind of what I'm talking about when I'm asking you, like trying to figure out what you want for your squad because it's almost not there. It doesn't
It doesn't
exist.
exist. It's a unicorn
Like
player.
you just can't you can't almost even like the profile is almost dying out
Yeah.
itself, let alone a few guys who can do it to the level, do it at all, and then to the level of Cruz. It's just not going to happen.
Not gonna no, no.
So I just, yeah, it makes me kind of sad actually thinking about the game because it feels like so robotic and it just feels like it's like, I,
Ali, how much money do you have to spend in the summer?
Let me call him and ask. JK. Real Madrid
I can
transfer.
give you a rough estimate of what United can spend, but do you know?
Real Madrid's transfer activity for the doesn't. I don't know how I would even find that out. In all honesty, I'm
Well,
assuming.
qualifying for Champions League is an automatic 100 in your pocket.
Yeah, but
And
he's more concerned with getting Taylor Swift to perform at our stadium than signing players. Is the thing.
mhm.
That's the
Would
issue.
you get? I would say at least 400 million. You have 400 million to
If we
spend,
have 400 million and actually spend 400 million, then potentially we could get those names that I talked about. But I don't see a world where that happens. In all honesty,
and
I think
then
we're more likely to see Tupac do a virtual reality performance in the Bernabeu than us sign players.
you think just the owners are completely fucking you.
I think Florentino Perez is more concerned with making money. And I don't know why, because he wasn't always like this. Like for fuck's sake, I have an autographed boot. That boot right there is a Predator from 2012 that's signed by the guy. And I hate him. I want to burn it now because
I,
I'm just tired. I'm just tired of this. I'm just like, what are we doing? What are these signings? Like, I'm a random nobody from Michigan. I have no ties to Spain. And for some reason, and it's not only me who thinks this, I can make better transfer decisions than currently Florentino Perez can. I don't get it. I just don't understand. Like, what are we signing Trent for? What are we signing Mbappe for? We just want a double. What are we signing? A guy we knew was going to come in and destroy this. Even Joan Laporta, Barcelona's president, was asked, "Are you jealous that Real Madrid is signing Mbappe?" And he literally said, word for word, with all the disrespect, extra spit, did not care, no remorse. He's like, "Hell no, he's gonna make Madrid a worse club." He literally said that, and he knew. How does the guy that is the president of our biggest rival know what's better for us than we do? And I've been saying it for years, bro. I've been saying this since 2022, since the first time he rejected us. I'm like, I don't want him anyways. Thank God he didn't come. And then we went on to win a double. And then we signed him, and look where we are now. His former club went and won their first ever Champions League title.
Is it realistic you bring in like Ancelotti back, who's someone who can handle these personalities and
No, because he's
listen
shown
to?
it's Ancelotti getting sacked was I didn't want him to get sacked. I was happy with Xabi's appointment, but I didn't want Ancelotti to get sacked because it wasn't Ancelotti's fault. He was given a bunch of players, and every game they went out there and defended 9 against 11. Every single game. What was the man supposed to do? You think Ancelotti, with the pedigree that he has, wants to go out there and line up in a 4-4-2 with the wealthiest squad in the world? In 2025, in the big 2025, you think Ancelotti wants to be playing 4-4-2? Hell no. He had to play 4-4-2 because he had nobody to defend. He just was like, you know what? 2 banks of 4. I'm going to let those 2 idiots up top do what they want to do. And if I get sacked, I get sacked. And unfortunately, the dude did get sacked. His legacy got ruined because 2 guys didn't want to run. And if he comes back in, nothing changes. And I keep saying there isn't a manager on this earth that could come in and fix this Real Madrid side, unless specific players are sold. There was rumors that we were linked to Jurgen Klopp, and Jurgen Klopp, I don't know if this is true, but this is apparently what Jurgen Klopp said. He's like, some players would need to leave before I came to manage that Madrid team. If that's true, I think that sums up everything about our club.
That's the hiring words for me. I'm like, bring him in and then let him transform.
Bro, if I'm a
Jurgen knows who
manager,
to sign.
if I'm a manager, let's say I'm coaching like freaking, I don't know, Newcastle, Bournemouth, Brentford, or something, and I'm getting them. I qualify somehow for top 4 in the Prem, right? With a Brentford side or a freaking Fulham side, okay? And we're going crazy, and we got this wild winning streak and blah blah blah. And then I'm like this next up and coming manager, and whoever's at Madrid ain't doing too hot, and then he gets sacked, and they're like, "Yo, we want you to come in." I'd be like, "Fuck no, hell no." I'm on the come up. I'm doing good with this team. I'm making a name for myself with a third, not even a third, a fourth, a fifth, an eighth of the resources that Real Madrid have. I wouldn't walk into that Real Madrid job and ruin my name in the coaching world and get sacked after 5 months because Vinny and Mbappe don't want to run. Why
But the
would I do
reality of
that?
that situation is like you're the manager who's bringing up the Newcastle or the Villa. Your players are leaving the second you're not in Champions League anymore.
And I'd rather that exactly. And I'd rather be with a mid-table team and overachieve than be with the biggest club in the history of the sport and underachieve just because some players don't want to run. It's silly. This is why I'm wondering this manager hunt. How is it going to go? You guys are knowledgeable players. You guys played. You guys played decent level as well. You guys understand the game. You've been watching it since you were children, just like I have. Looking at this Real Madrid team, what manager comes in and succeeds with it? Forget attitude, forget work ethic, forget work rate and them being lazy and hustle. Just from a tactical perspective, how do you line this team up? Who do you bring in? No signings. You just look at the team now. How do you line this team up to win? Can you? Do either of you think it's possible?
I think it's possible,
How would
but
you line them up?
I think
I'm
Klopp's a
not saying
good
I
example
know.
of.
I'm not saying I know, but that's what I'm kind of, that's what I think. And, I mean, I'm not sure that I can actually answer exactly what you just told me, but I think that, and I know that it's almost not even relevant just because if Perez isn't gonna do it, it doesn't matter. But I don't think you're that far away from getting back to something that you're more familiar to, or at least something that you can stomach a little bit more. I think you're a couple signs. I think if you even out, like there's so much quality in the squad.
Mhm.
You can't deny that. Like
Where?
I, Tchouaméni,
In your midfield
Valverde,
mostly.
Valverde,
Our midfield
Mbappe,
is our second biggest problem.
Arda
I think it's
Güler,
I think it's your strength.
No, it's
Carreras.
not our strength at all.
Chouameni, Valverde, and Jude is a
Guys, this
S
team,
tier
and I'm
midfield.
not discrediting your ball knowledge, but this midfield can't keep possession of the ball. They just don't have the ability with the ball at their feet. Like Elliot was talking a couple or like half an hour, maybe an hour ago, about like the simple stuff not being done right, like receiving on the back foot, the what pockets of space is the ball getting into. That's our midfield in a nutshell. And the overcompensation defensively doesn't allow them to do it as well. So not only are they not great at it from a technical standpoint, they don't often find themselves in that position because one, we play a 4-4-2. So two of those midfielders are wide. We don't have the numbers in the middle of the park to keep it and dictate the play. And they're also just constantly running back and playing as CDMs and right backs and left backs. A second right back and a second left back. The quality defensive standpoint, there is no quality in the defense. Raul Asensio is horrible. Hoyson is not the player we thought he was going to be, and rightfully so. He's 20 years old. His prior experience was Bournemouth. No disrespect to Bournemouth. Carreras has been our best player of the season by far. There's no quality defensively from Trent. Carvajal is 73 years old. He's got more gray hair than he does black. Like, there is no quality. The only quality we have, genuine quality, is Courtois. We haven't been able to see Federico Valverde's actual quality because he's been a right back for 3/4 of the season, out of position. Camavinga's injured, in and out of the squad. We don't get to see him on a consistent basis. Goulart's decent. I'll say that. Goulart's good. But is he in the right system to succeed? I don't know. Bellingham has been injured for a very long time. Hasn't been that Bellingham that we know. I still think he's a good player, but he hasn't been the Bellingham that we know. And we've got the two laziest guys upfield. We're talking about the quality in Vinny Jr. I don't want to hear quality and Vinny Jr. in the same sentence. The man went 22 games with one goal. I don't care what Vinny did in the past. I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about this season. Nobody's coming in and making this team work. I just don't see it. Unless we do the 4-4-2 diamond like I talked about from a tactical perspective. But once again, that's when you start to add the conversation of attitude and work ethic and putting the ego to the side. It just simply won't happen. If that does get put to the side, which it won't, then yeah, I do think with this squad you can get something and you can win. But even to Elliot's point, he was saying like, oh, maybe even just to get it to something that you can stomach. Why is the team that's won 15 UCLs and the most La Ligas in history having to talk about, are we going to get to a point of something we can stomach? That's not the
I
conversation we should be having.
Yeah, that's okay. But I mean, to be fair, like, look, Arsenal doesn't have anywhere near the success of either of your two clubs. However, just for a little bit of perspective, I have not seen my club win anything but an FA Cup in my life. I was alive for the Invincibles, but I was 4 years old. We all grew up in the US. None of us, I don't think, were watching,
No, not
even
anymore.
knew what was going on. So I
Right.
didn't know anything about that,
Yeah.
right? Um, I think not only with your club, we see it with United, we see it with Chelsea, we see it to an extent with Liverpool right now. I mean, I think that the game, something fundamental about the game is like really toxic and rotting right now. And I think it shows in what we were saying in terms of, yeah, I think it's the money in the game, and I think it's the amount of games that are being played
And that
are
relates to the money.
The
it
media
relates,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah, it
Yeah.
relates to the money and the media, sure, the exposure, how big the game is now.
Players thinking
And
they're bigger, having that
also,
outlet of the media.
also, I will say, maybe not super directly, but the MLS, I think, is a poison on world football
Hmm. Interesting.
because what it,
Oh, it's the
what it,
draft system.
well, no, I just think as a product, it doesn't serve any good to the world game because all you're doing is, aside from a few exceptions, the only one I can think of being Zlatan, you're all you're doing is just consuming 38-year-old Messi's and sh what's the guy from Bayern? I saw him play live in Chicago.
Ruiz,
No,
Muller.
Schweinsteiger,
uh,
Schweinsteiger. Um, like, these old players going to, to retire basically, and sort of, I feel like in a weird way it like dilutes and or distorts like our view of what, the reason, one of the things that it's a very specific thing, but the reason I can't like watch Inter Miami or watch the MLS in the general sense is because I can't stand listening to that one guy, the one announcer,
I hate
just
him too.
absolutely glazing Messi for scoring against
Yeah,
frat
we
kids.
have a money
Hold on,
retirement
hold
league.
on, hold on. Scoring against frat kids I mean, it's literally it's like he's playing at high velocity, and people won't know what that is, but it's a indoor soccer facility where you can play on turf and hockey rinks, and it's literally like
It's beer league.
it's so pandering, and it's so like it feels like the American audience is like
It's like
disabled.
WWE. It's
It's
all a
yeah,
big show
it's
so
just
that
a
people, it's like the Messi show is what it is.
yes, yes, and it's
It's
just
not
like
actually about soccer. It's about Messi and all that stuff.
it's about the Lay's and the Pepsi and the Capital One or
Heineken.
whatever it is,
Yeah.
Heineken, Michelob Ultra. That's what it's about. It's about
Yeah.
Trump with World Cup trophy
Yep.
and Infantino.
Yep.
I'm kind of straying from the main point, but it's just
How does this affect world football? Because that's how you started the statement. I'm still
yeah, yeah. It just
connecting it.
I just think that I don't know. In my mind, it takes away from what the game is supposed to be, and it's setting a bad example. I don't like seeing Messi Inter Miami shirts all over the world. I think it's cool in a sense that like it's getting exposure and it's making the game bigger and younger fans are learning about Messi and whatever. Fine. But like I just think it sends a bad message, right? That like the branding and the marketing and you know, the best player in the world plays in the MLS. Messi's not the best player in the world right now.
Yeah.
That's fair. I agree.
You know what I mean? And maybe it doesn't have a super direct um impact on what's going on in Europe and whatever, but I just think that that's a piece of it and
Yeah.
it's like Ollie said, it's mainly the money and it's things that branch out of the money
I
that
would
are
say that there is
killing
an
the
upside
game.
to it, though. I would say that a lot more Americans are becoming soccer fans because of the fact that Messi's here and everybody's wearing a Messi shirt.
Yeah, but
These
they're
kids
not
are trying.
watching.
I'm looking at these academy, these kids in the soccer in Michigan right now. They're way better than we were when we were younger.
But that's always going to be the case. We were better than the generation before
Yeah. The new
us.
generation's always going to outperform the last one.
That's
But I'm
but
saying it's a huge effect because more kids are playing now,
Yeah,
despite it
I
still being a
agree. I
money
think
league.
there's pros and cons for sure, but like on the European side of things, I think what Elliot's trying to get into here is like we went and hosted a Club World Cup. Well, not we, but like UEFA did or FIFA. It was a senseless tournament. We called it the Mickey Mouse tournament. Extra games, more injuries. You're seeing players that never really got injured like that before getting injured because they're playing 75 games a season.
why do
Same
you think Al Hilal was in that tournament?
Exactly. It's just money. It's just all, oh, we're going to put on this Mickey Mouse tournament. Don't get me wrong. It was fun to watch the games. But as a Madrid fan, I was almost like wishing like we didn't have to play this. Like we've got a back line that's had four ACL tears.
I get
Five
that.
ACL tears amongst our back line. And they're going to have to play 7, 8 more games in the 95 to 110-degree weather and humidity of Florida, of Texas, of whatever, just for the sake of a couple extra 100,000 or $1 million or whatever it is. But it's just like, bro, I had all this, and then you got the UEFA Super Mickey Mouse Cup, and that's the UEFA Conference League winners versus the
Nations League and
Nations
the
League and all this garbage. I'm so tired of it. Can I just watch a La Liga season, a Champions League season, a Copa del Rey season, and if it's the year for it, an international tournament in the summer. That's
yeah.
like, don't get me wrong. I love watching the sport. I wish I could watch Monday through Sunday but it's just not realistic. And in,
It,
and
it
in turn, you get worse football because all the best guys are fucking injured all the time.
yeah, yeah, and you like
They
it,
are
it
playing too many games.
it's just yeah, but that coupled with, where the game is tactically, I think there's probably a reason for that too, because you have to almost be ready for anybody you need to play to be able to play.
Yep.
Yeah, and so you have to be like, you can't just settle into, you know, the same starting 11 plus or minus one or two guys every single week.
Yeah.
Nobody does that anymore, except for United because they have one game a week. And like
And one set of players.
and one set of players. But the point being, like, it's everything is so diluted and watered down. The quality of the players, the quality of
Look,
the games
just
that
look
we're
at the depth
watching.
that you guys have had to acquire just to be in a title race.
Exactly. And our depth isn't even as good as City's depth in the last 10 years.
No, it's not, but it's the best on the planet right now, in my opinion.
It
I think,
is.
yeah, it is, but
Yeah,
it's still, even so, I'm still looking at it like
I'm looking at
ripping my
United and
hair
I'm
out
looking at Arsenal.
sometimes.
Arsenal is a great player front and back in every position. And I'm looking at United and I'm like, we need to replicate that if we're ever going to be a serious team
and
again.
that's gonna take you a new manager and 5 windows.
Yep.
It'll be a new manager and
And another
two
300,
windows.
400, 500 mil.
It'll be 500 million in two
Absolutely.
windows.
This is why I keep saying like this whole like I think United needs to find a manager that's like literally elite, world class, an Ancelotti, a Hansi Flick, a Luis Enrique. Offer him fucking the world. Offer him the
God, we
universe.
turned we turned down Hansi Flick for fucking Ten Hag.
That's ridiculous. Is that actually true?
Yeah.
That's actually madness. All right, are we wanting? That just made me lose every brain cell I have left. Are we wanting to call? Are we wanting to call it right now?
Yeah, I would say that's it.
Yeah.
Big $100 million game tomorrow, Villa versus Chelsea. Winner of that's probably going to stay up in the top five. That's $100 million game
That is
that
nuts.
decides it. If Chelsea
Put it
lose,
like
they're
that.
out.
That's actually crazy.
I mean, there's still 8 games left. I think anything could happen.
I
But,
Are we
don't think
really at
so.
game week 30? Oh my god.
well, at least Arsenal is. Well, everybody else might be a game or two behind.
If Villa go 9 points above Chelsea, do you see
But
them
that's,
coming back from that?
but there's still another spot below that.
No, Villa's going to be fifth.
There's 6 Champions League spots or 5.
There's 5, but it's right now Arsenal, United, or sorry, Arsenal, City, United, uh, Villa, no,
Liverpool,
or
Chelsea.
yeah, Liverpool, Chelsea. So what Liverpool just lost. I mean, Chelsea will be 6 points behind Liverpool with a couple games to play still. I don't think you can say that it's over
Chelsea has
yet.
the hardest schedule left out of any of the top six right now.
All right.
Uh,
Let's save it. Let's
yeah,
save it for the next video.
yeah,
More talking
yeah,
points. Well, how long have we been recording? 2 hours? Has to be more.
yeah. About two
Glazers out.
hours.
United versus Newcastle tomorrow. Peace out, everybody.
Visca Barca. Visca. I'm just joking. Hala Madrid always. All right, guys.
All
Thank you
right.
so much for watching. If you enjoyed us losing our minds over our clubs, hit that like button. If you want to watch more of us losing our minds, hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. As always, take care of yourselves.